I really can't wait till somebody tries to pop in this live stream, and then they try to see that timer, and they want to skip to the very end. I'm like, ha, you missed 18 seconds. Ha, I was live before then. I skipped, transitioned out of it. How's everybody doing tonight? It is very snowy here in Louisiana. Like, so snowy. There's like 6 inches on the ground. It's insane. Pretty sure the world's ending. It snowed twice in like the span of 2 months in Louisiana. And some of y'all people from like Nova Scotia and Milwaukee and Amsterdam will be like, what's the big deal about snow? We don't get it. Okay? We don't. Like, I am fueled by fiery rage, powered by the sun. We're not used to snow here. This doesn't. I actually feel my power dwindling. I'm becoming a mere human. Really, I don't know what that was. Just live with it. Accept it. Accept me and love me. How's everybody doing? Hopefully y'all are doing fantastic. Tonight, I want to have a great discussion about several things. I want to talk about, everybody's talking about this whole side mission that we're getting really upset that it has to go into deep space. I don't know why that's such a big deal for everybody. Then we got to talk about what I'm like, hey, I feel like this conversation really needs to be pushed all the time. All the time. I'm talking to players and they're like, when are we getting more other stuff? Like more than just the freaking Federation. And then I talk to like the Scopes and they're like, yo, people just want the Federation. They don't want anything else. I'm like, are you sure? They're like, yeah, that's what everybody wants. I'm like, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what Rev does best. I'm going to make a poll. And we're going to have a discussion tonight. Now, I cannot say any of this turns into anything. Who knows? Who knows if it does? But there's some great names on this list, y'all. I'm telling you that when I made this list, I made the best list. I even included those dirty Voyager people here with the Kazon, the Hirogen. But shout out to the Kzinti. That's who you should actually be voting for. The Kzinti. That's the winner. That should honestly be the winner. If they put the Kzinti in the game, they've done right by all of us. They have. So that's just a fact. And, ooh, I need that. Me. I want it. Give it to me. Give it to me. I don't care. I want it. I'm gonna don't y'all let me forget. So yeah, we're gonna have a great discussion tonight. We're gonna have fun. More importantly, fun is very important in what we try to do here. And then I'm also going to have the voice chat open in Discord so people can come hang out. Simpleva says fed over everyone else. See, you're the problem, Simpleva. You're the problem. You are the problem. I cannot believe you. How dare you? Oh, disgust me. But anyway, we're going to have everything open. Y'all come hang out with us in chat. Invite your friends, your family, your baby mom, baby daddy, and all your friends in your alliances and your servers on your server death cards. Invite them too. All right, you losers in voice chat. How are y'all doing? I see we've got a few of y'all sneaking in here and a couple from server 21. What? Shout out server 21. It's okay, Simpleva. You can love the Federation, I guess. Douglas says, where's the link to that survey? Oh, so glad you asked. Here it comes. Faster than Transwarp Drive. Billy says, where's your jelly? Jelly is 1 day and 7 hours from building. 1 day, 7 hours. 1 day, 7 hours. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So the surveys on Discord. Survey is also in the chat. I will continue to throw it into the chat sporadically, like flavoring, some seasoning thrown in there, a little bit of yum all over. It's gonna be good. But I think that I think it'll be a fun discussion we had, and I think that we have some really good Star Trek memories while we're also doing Star Trek stuff in the background. That's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah. Greetings, Hector's from Pond Far. Hey, me too. Who you with on Pond Far? God, it's IA, isn't it? I'm about to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Also forgot to hit low latency, so there might be a little bit of a stream delay between the voice, but it'll be all right. All right. Good evening, Zoomer. How are you? Why is the voice chat so quiet? There's like 10 of y'all in here. Nobody's talking. Hey, Misty. How you feeling? Yeah.
Hey, Rev.
Hey, how you doing, Kenny?
I'm just wondering, have you played the Kobayashi Maru thing?
Yeah, I looked at the Kobayashi Maru. It's stupid. It's a waste of time, and I played it twice, and I was like, all right, I'm done, and I'll never go back to it.
Yeah, I done that as well. I went back on it just another day. Just do it.
I mean, it's a little 16-bit waste your time online game, so it's whatever, I guess.
It's like retro style, isn't it?
Yeah, by the way, you're feeding back on me, Kenny.
So,
Hello, Rev Dude.
Hello.
Hi,
How are
Rev.
you, Dark Lord? Hey, Misty.
Yeah, I can have that.
Well, I've got an inch of ice outside.
You've got an inch of ice. I've got like 6 inches of snow.
I have 8 inches of snow. I don't want to hear it.
I don't care about your snow. Your snow doesn't matter. My snow matters because I never get it. Sitting Bull, you're feeding back. Thank you.
I was looking to try and talk about that you wanted a new race. I was going to go Cardassian and Bajoran,
Yeah,
and that's about it.
that's it. Just Cardassians. That's all. It's Cardassians.
We
Yeah,
want
well,
some Kim
well-
Kardashian in the game, okay?
No, we don't. Stop making bad jokes, Misty.
you want the Zindi, all 6 races.
Sitting Bull, you're still feedback really bad, man. If you could like put on push to talk or something, appreciate it.
I am on push to talk, I believe.
You are not.
Uh-oh. Let me try and see if I can get that fixed.
No problem, buddy. I'll have your server muted just for a few seconds while I can do that. Fuelidon says ban her. It's very tempting to ban Misty, but we have to keep her around. So, yeah.
And anyhow, I like Gold Ducat better.
Well, I mean, yeah, I love Gul Dukat. I think the Cardassians are fantastic choice. I have no problem with the choice pick. I mean, if it was up to me, if I only could pick one out of all the different options that I put on the list, I might go Cardassian or Dominion. The Kzinti also, simply because I would like to force Scopely to make the Kzinti and put them in the game.
I would like to see the Zindi.
Wouldn't care about that at all. The Zindi
Why?
can take all of season 2 and 3 of Enterprise and stay in the dumpster that they're in. And
Well, like the not like the reptilians and all that, but the ones that are telling like the 5 different races.
yeah,
that
all
they need
5
to,
of
like-
them can go in the trash where they belong. That entire storyline can just go die. Yeah.
Well,
I think the other problem with the Cardassians is their ships suck.
I think the Galore is gorgeous, but there's not a lot of diversity in the ships in the game. Now, Star Trek Online did a really good job of kind of expanding on some of the ships and everything for the Cardassians
Yep.
and made it a little bit nicer. But this
Yep.
game's not going to copy Star Trek Online models. So really, you got like 3 ship models. You got the Hideki, the Galore, and really that's about it for the Cardassians. That kind of sucks. They basically just have a couple of
True.
fish ships.
I know what I want. I want Rev Deuce. In
Yeah,
the game.
that's not
I
happening.
want them to
Misty,
make
I will.
Rev Deuce.
We are having a legit conversation. Do not make me mute you 3 minutes into the stream.
Okay, it's not a
Ouch.
race, but what about the Maquis as another rogue faction?
I mean, yeah, but we already got a rogue faction though that we don't even use.
You see, the problem is like we're supposed to be independents in the game, right? There are no independent ships.
Yeah, well, kind of, sort of. You already do. I mean, Andorian ships and Vulcan ships that we get early in the game are definitely independent. But I do agree that there needs to be more independent options past those ships.
I don't know. I just think they should expand on the hijacked options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that for a year and a half, that if we had like a hijacked Enterprise, I'd be all over it. I would waste another 50,000 gas I don't have for a
Yeah.
hijacked Enterprise.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Or you know what? That would also be a good chance also to introduce the what was the ship that that Khan took in Wrath of Khan?
The Kelvin.
You talking about the
No, no, no.
Dauntless from the
No,
new
no,
movie?
About the,
Oh yeah, the
I'm
Dawn.
talking about the
Sorry.
original Wrath of Khan.
Well, that is already in the game technically. So
I know the Mayflower. I'm talking about,
Yeah.
update the skin on the Mayflower and introduce it as a true independent hijacked ship. I don't
Yeah,
know.
to do that though, you would have to, because the Reliant is the Mayflower. For those that don't know, the Mayflower was
Right.
built on
Yeah,
the
the
Reliant.
Reliant.
But to do that, you would then have to add in all the original series ship, and I'm not against that at all. I would love that. I just don't know if they would do that and double down and triple down on. Because I'm actually kind of sitting here on the opposite side. I'm tired of so much Federation. I want to change it up. I want less Federation. Now, that's just me. Now, if everybody goes and votes on the poll that I made and we get 500 people that are like, yeah, Federation only, suck it. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I just feel like there's this idea that everybody wants Federation and only a handful of people want other stuff. And I'm sitting here like, no, I want other stuff. Definitely.
I would prefer Borgified ships over the hijack ships.
Borgified ships. That would require
know if that's
Borg
the
as a
correct
huge
term.
race and everything. That's
Usually it's for both new and existing customers.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
not a
that-
terrible idea. It's just like I remember playing Star Trek Armada, and that was like a whole thing. I love that, but at the same time, how realistic is that in the game that we're currently playing?
How about creating your own ship?
Yeah, that. How would you even do that in this game?
That's a Tom Paris thing.
I mean, you'd have a base for it, and then you could just add weapons on it, and and stuff, and they would, each web, so you
See,
could have kinetic and.
You just overcomplicated this by creating an entire. Like you didn't just create a ship. You had to rebuild the entire game to add. That would never happen, sir. The game already sucks in terms of being able to handle what they add to it. You want to rebuild the thing from the ground up?
What about adding shuttles?
What would shuttles do? Now, we'll say that Eve Echoes, they put out shuttles that were basically just like throwaway gimme ships just to have for the sake of having. No one shall. Your opinions will not be repeated unless you get in voice chat. Stop being a ninny and get in here. Get in here.
You know what race I would like to see?
What?
Alan, wrong sci-fi series.
He knows.
I would like to see the Ocampa, but not like
Nope.
Kess's Ocampa. Hold on. Not Kess's Ocampa, but the other ones that they meet like 10 months later where they're older.
Nope. No thanks.
Why?
They're not. They don't even. There's a reason they don't even make my list. They're not even an option.
Why are you making me get on voice?
Because this is all that matters. Get here and like it.
I'm in a Lego game right now. It kind of matters right now.
Which Lego game?
It's kind of like the Star Wars one that was the RTS on the phone.
Oh, nice. Well, you
It's
need to
actually
come
pretty
sit
fun.
down and have this conversation because we need this to get somewhere. Also, we got a lot to
need
talk about
harassment.
tonight. No one. We got people crying, literal tears. Like really, they are broken hearts over the side
cried
mission
earlier today.
requiring you be level 38 to get there. Like, oh my God, how dare
Yes.
they?
Mine says
Mine-
40.
Yeah.
Well, it
Mine says
recommends
40,
level 40,
yeah,
but you
level-
only got to be 38
recommended,
to
yeah.
get there.
Yeah,
No, mine
you need
says 40.
61 warp.
Yeah, warp 61 to get there. So
Well, I can get warp 65 with Scotty.
yeah,
Just
I say
speaking
you
on that
can
mission, I
get
should do it
there
soon.
in 38. You don't have to be 40. That's just the recommended level.
So
Why
how
have-
do you
why
find
have I-
the- how
why
do you
have
find
I
the Dark
won it?
Souls mission?
Why have
Yeah,
I
I
do.
spent my
Wait,
hard-earned
38.
credits on getting that mission and I can't even?
You didn't
do-
spend your credits on it. It was given to you
Yeah, it was
from
given
the
to you.
event. So
Right,
you didn't
so-
spend jack diddly squat.
It's like it
Yeah,
didn't
so
cost
I
you
win
anything.
it from the battle pass. I win it from the battle pass, and I can't
didn't
even
win
get
it from
to
the
the
battle
first
pass.
No, you got it from
You
a
didn't
free
win it.
event from the Doomsday Worms.
Yep.
Doomsday
From somebody
Wars
beating it.
41.
Yeah, it's literally it's from the gimme event, the event where you literally do nothing and you win no matter what. That's where it's from.
The event I took second place in.
Yeah. So
We had someone not turn in their points till after more than 1 hour afterwards, so we've already finished the next one.
yeah, same.
Yeah, we did too. Basically, a lot of servers finished it right away.
Which is
Some are getting
actually
glitched.
kind of sucks because I did not get all my rewards when it finished. Mine bugged out. So
Talk to customer support.
yeah. Yeah. I'm not going to put it in
So-
ticket. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to them directly and be like, yo, look here. This is unacceptable.
Bro.
So my husband says he wants to see the race that tried to kill
Your husband
Wesley
doesn't play the
Crusher.
game.
He wants to see the race
When-
that what?
tried to kill Wesley Crusher when he stepped on the flower bed and there was the white fence around it and nobody knew about the law and it was like automatic death and the fence would move.
I am definitely
And they were
down
like-
for murdering Wesley Crusher in the game.
Down for the clown.
No, my husband says he wants to see those people in the game because he thought it was funny that they tried to kill Wesley Crusher.
Yes. Nadal, don't worry, you're not late. You don't miss anything. This is a stream that means absolutely nothing and everything at the same time. Which, by the way, we have 92 responses so far, people who have voted. And the winner at the moment is actually the Cardassian Union, followed by the Ferengi Kamos Authority, and then the Klingons. So we're just to see how
have
this
enough Klingons.
pans out. I don't think there will be 5,000 votes like there was last time, but I'm expecting a really, and I'm only letting people pick one. So if you don't pick the Kzinti and you don't want a race of cat warriors in the game, what are you even doing with your life?
Where's the poll at?
Cat Warriors? Yes.
Don't listen to my husband.
Your Honor, can we request recess for licking and furball hacking?
There you go. There you go. Kevin says the only thing, Rev, is if I had known, I would have picked something else I could complete. Well, that's the thing, though. It doesn't matter if you knew. There's nothing else you can pick. Like, they didn't rob you from anything.
It was a given.
Yeah, it was just a freebie
free.
specifically for that. And if you can't complete it, then you just, archive it. It's not that big a deal.
It's
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 if
like
it
a
was
normal
something that
mission, I
like
can't do it fast
you
and
got
hit on
tricked
it.
into spending 200 million latinum on or something, yeah, I get it. Gripe. I just don't understand the outrage over something that's literally given for free. If you can't complete it, archive it. Who cares?
Exactly.
I don't get, like, I'm all for bashing Scopely. I've done it plenty. I've gotten kicked out of programs for doing it. It's not that I won't
Yes,
bash
you did.
Scopely. I just don't care. I don't see the point of griping about this one. We can gripe about many things. I just don't know why we gripe about this one.
Because they choose to gripe about it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, how about
It's
we
'cause
give
they do
a
the
small
content.
hand clap for a huge exploit that I reported last week getting fixed? That's a good thing. Yeah? No, nobody cares about that.
Sure.
No.
No.
Typical school play, just dangle the carrot. Go for
Yeah.
it.
What's a free carrot? It's not even dangled.
I know.
Now,
It's just there.
it's kind of like you remember when your grandparents got you that really awesome present called like a bond, but it didn't mature for 15 years and they gave it to you and you're supposed to be excited about it. Be like, this, who cares? 15 years later, you care. You greatly appreciate that present 15 years later. That's what it is. It's like a bond. It takes a while to mature.
Scourge, when people are saying stuff about, I'm going to do the mission right now.
Go for it. I could do it too. I mean, I actually just accepted it and I'll probably do it in the background. But right now I'm actually, believe it or not, focusing on my Stella. So people want to know
Well,
what the
there's no
exploit
way-
was. I will be making a video about specifically what the exploit was, but I showed it to no one earlier today. Basically, you
Yeah.
could get a Rialta up into the trillions in health and be undefeatable for a battle, which was really awesome. It was hilarious. But
Oh my god, I can kill some people.
if you exploited that, bad things happen to you. Because to be
Oh,
fair,
no.
exploits you shouldn't get rewarded for exploiting
I
the
just
game.
I just don't like the officer affected.
Well, it affected multiple officers, but one officer in particular. I had a supporter who I 100% agree with usually, really getting on to me like, why won't you come at them for disabling the officer? I'm like, well, because I get why they disabled it. So
Yeah, they disabled one that has been like that for a long time, which, in my opinion, it affects a lot of their top end people.
Yeah.
Not the one that's caused the issue, but another
Yeah.
one.
Ryan Robert says, where can I find Rialta BPs? You can't. They're actually nowhere in the
Oh,
game
more
to find
Rialta.
them.
I
So
want to hijack Rialta that causes a burn.
yeah, that we need a special. You know what? I might pay $100 for that. Special burn Rialta.
A Rialta with flames.
Oh god,
ISS Rialta.
redneck over here with his ISS Rialta. With
Okay, a
flames.
Borgified Rialta. It spreads poison. Called nanoprobes.
Spreads poison.
Nanoprobes.
That actually would be a pretty cool ship ability.
Assimilation or
Ooh.
something that's
Oh,
called.
Ryan, if you scrapped your Rialta and didn't know, contact customer support. They should help you out.
They last person I referred to him, he got his back.
Yeah, I mean, I've had
Maybe a
some
month
great
ago.
experiences with CIA. I mean, today was technically an off day for them, by the way. Technically an off day.
Oh yeah.
And I still got to work with one of the CS team members because I'll tell you the problem that we had, and you tell me if this was good customer support for the first time in your Scopely existence. So the problem was the person I was working with had their augment store broken. They had maxed it out. However, the only options they had were the options from the beginning of the tree. So they only could turn in like 100 of the red data, and that was it. Their options never increased as they tiered up the level. So they've had the augment store stuck like that for months. CS got on today. I sent CS all the screenshots, gave them the player ID. Bam, fixed on an off day. And I just had to say big thank you for that one instance. Yes, we can gripe about other things that are terrible, but this one instance gets a hand clap for me. Thank you so much for helping out the broken store.
You know what scared me yesterday?
What?
My Bortus scrapping disappeared off the timer on the left. I'm like, oh my god, that's not good.
Now I will say that's a complaint I have, by the way. It's a complaint I have because since they added the new building slot, when my scrap ship finishes, it disappears off the left, and I have to go into my base to collect. That's a problem. Fix it, because I freaked out. I even messaged the devs. I'm like, yo, I just scrapped a Mayflower, and I got nothing. What the hell? I
had to go back into the base to see it.
Correct. Yeah, and
oh my god.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. That's something they need to fix. They need to put the daggum thing back on the screen. That's not cool.
I don't think you should have to pay for the second building to be done. Sorry.
It's only $5.
It's $5. Misty, you've spent way more than $5 on this game.
Misty, here, just go to one of my videos 2 days ago. What? Go down the links, click on those two links. Those two, go scan your groceries, go check it at a gas station, and get $5 a month.
I am kind of like not allowed to drive or go anywhere for the next 8 weeks.
Well, send your husband.
Oh man,
there's ways to get you free money, and I use 2 of them.
Oh man, let's keep a conversation going, everybody. Let's not let it end.
Cardassians.
Yeah, Cardassians. Kevin says it should have been green pinstripes to go 5% faster. Wow. Racing stripes are black, though.
I say just to get us a new assortment of ships, I say the Jem'Hadar.
The Jem'Hadar. Okay, so bring the whole Dominion in. Bring the whole Dominion.
Right, bring the Dominion in. This way here we get new ships to play with.
Then you bring the G4 neutrals in.
Yeah, I agree. Bring in the stuff that you already have in the game.
34 to 39 for those ships would be an awesome filler.
Yeah.
Nope, I want the Kzinti.
Yeah, the cats. I mean, come on. You're making Star Trek fans happy. You're making furries happy. I mean, you're making everybody. Old ladies are now playing the game because there's cats in it. You're really opening up a special market when you add the Kzinti into the game.
Oh, God, I don't understand. The first time a whale blows her up.
Like the queue, they really don't have ships, and they're kind of just boring. They don't do anything.
Oh,
so
how dare you!
Having the queue here?
No, you did not go against the queue. They don't do anything, and they do everything
all at the same time.
I mean, they can be everywhere at once, so it's kind of boring.
From ships to ships.
You're boring.
I know I'm
Let's
boring.
Keep going with the faction stuff. Let's find another faction to
now. Looking over your list, the Herodians, I don't want to see them as a playable faction, but I'd like to see them bring in like a bounty system where like you can get missions.
Mm-hmm.
The Ferengi Commerce Authority, I want.
Or have
I would love
use
that.
the Herodians as a hostile territory where you'll always get a hostile attacking you in their area so we can audit from it.
Can I get an evolution of a bug ship?
No.
What about the hologram force? You know, when the holograms take control.
Oh,
no.
That would be a good
My
one.
problem with the Ferengi would be that you'd have to implement player trade in order to really justify the Ferengi commerce.
Exactly.
Or the Ferengi, the FCA, all that happens is basically you get stopped randomly in space and attacked, and you could lose or destroy your ship, and they steal Latinum from you. Basically, the Ferengi come around and steal Latinum, so you have to be watching out, guarding your ship as you're mining Latinum, which actually be great because now the new speeds they have on these Devores for mining, you have to pay attention and defend it actually from the game. And as soon as the game registered you went over cargo, here comes a Ferengi marauder to come and wipe you off the map. Come on.
Yep. Okay, how would you do species 8472 for the Borg?
You would do species 8472 just like you did the original Borg, a special part of space that was now liquid space, and you would go in, do
Fluidic
missions.
space?
Yeah, liquid space.
They called it fluidic.
Those are synonyms. Those are synonymous. But in liquid space, you would go in, and there would be a Starbucks to your right and species 8472 to your left, and I think some great missions and maybe some great advertising opportunities there.
What's getting me is where they're going to put the Delta system.
You mean the Delta Quadrant?
Space?
Delta Quadrant, even, yeah.
Well, what's really annoying to me about this game, and I do like Star Trek, and I'm not trying to be a hater, but what they have here, one, the Federation, Romulan, and Klingon empires are all in the wrong spots. Technically, the Romulan Star Empire is in the Beta Quadrant. Federation and the Klingons are in the Alpha Quadrant. Rogue space and augment space don't even exist, so that's just a fictitious area for this game. And then they have the Borg literally just sitting next to and chilling the next to the Federation. So the map is so off from what it's supposed to be. It's not even close. No, I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Well, this is the Kelvin universe, so you don't exactly know where everything is.
Yes, the galaxy did not change, and yes, I do, because it's the exact same universe as Star Trek Enterprise. So
Galaxy is changing all the time.
it did not just magically flip-flop like, oh God, red matter, let's just rearrange where everybody lives. That's not how that works.
It sure did.
It's Q's fault. Tell it.
Sorry, my jellyfish spilled all its red matter.
Yeah, it's... Oh.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. In Voyager, they show you where a big population of the Borg is, with all of the transwarp whatchamahookies that they go through in the final episode, which actually puts most of the Borg ships in Alpha Quadrant space. So there is a possibility that a vast majority of the Borg would be in the Alpha Quadrant.
First of all, you just referenced Voyager, so you're negated.
Yes, I did.
Second of all, that map was putting them in the Beta Quadrant, not the Alpha Quadrant. Third of all, you referenced Voyager, which is a sin on this show.
Okay, Rev, I also just had surgery a week ago. I don't want to hear
No
it.
sympathy.
Misty pull out her book.
No sympathy. You referenced frickin'. But I mean, yeah, I get why they did the map like this, because yes, there is a little bit of a sandwich between the Klingon Romulan, but it's not like how it's shown right here on this map. I mean, they could have done a better job of like just clustering the heck out of the Federation, and I mean, because like this little weird tail thing that looks like the end of a swarm ship, that's not how it is in real life.
They
now,
can modify it down the line.
Granted, real life, in quote unquote real life, the map should be 3-dimensional, not 2-dimensional anyway. So we're really getting nerdy with our debate here. But
let's do
okay, I want to get nerdy for a second. How about we bring some of the lower deck characters into the game?
I don't know if enough people even realize Lower Deck is a thing, which is sad because it's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
That mission just gave me 5 million trit on one of them.
Ooh, wait, Tio Sulu is for sale in the store? Somebody just messaged me that.
He is, and then he's in the mission too.
Ooh.
I saved I saved the horns for today, so I got them unlocked that way.
Oh wow. It's more than just a single unlock. It actually lets you do an upgrade with them too.
Yeah.
Ow! Alan, that hurt.
How did you even notice that?
I don't look at the store very often because I'm a poor person. Matthew says no Lower Decks. Why? Lower Decks is freaking amazing.
Lower Decks is awesome.
Lower Decks is the best Star Trek that's come out in 2 decades. Like Lower Decks is the best Star Trek since DS9
Picard
to me.
is pretty awesome.
So let's address CBS changing to Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
yes,
branding.
At least they're not separating the new Pike show from like CBS. I thought that's what they were gonna do.
Ooh, Sand says Lower Decks is in the 24th century. How could they integrate that if the game is set in the 23rd century? Because the game is not set in any particular century. Yeah, the game is.
Might as well call Star Trek Fleet Command Timelines.
Yeah, for real. I mean, if you look at the characters that we have in this game, they are not from the same place. They're literally. You have 3 Spocks in this game because they're from 3 different eras.
Dude, I want a 4th Spock. Okay? I want Ambassador Spock.
Yeah, I've been calling for that for a while.
I'm gonna let you go.
All right, Misty.
Bye bye.
Bye.
But I mean,
Our
the
kids sport
the
room is
mud and
really-
con stuff is not happening at the same time as the
We have two
cadets.
muds.
You know, Giorgio Discovery is not happening at the same time as 10 of 10 the Tribble is. I mean, there is no such thing as a consistent timeline in this game. So
Time is
if you come to
really-
this game for like canonicity, this is the wrong game for you. This is not the game with canonicity. I still love the game, by the way. Thomas Childers says they want the Prometheus. Probably the only good thing to come out of Voyager, except Andy Dick was the lead officer on the Prometheus, so that's kind of upsetting. Yeah, I guess unless you're an Andy Dick fan. Kevin says, did you just make
we
that word
really know
up?
that-
Nope. Canonicity is definitely a word. For 100%
I was-
certain.
Did we even really know that Andy Dick was such a, back then? I mean,
I don't know if he was
Yeah,
back
we-
then, but we can only view through the lens that we have now, and the lens that we have now is not very pleasant. It's kind of like Paulie Shore at the time. He's just a hilarious goofball. Now we're like, in the Army now really wasn't that funny. Oh dang it! My screen's got that stupid thing up there. Oh, it went away. Yay. Oh nope, it's stuck. I guess I should put an
Who's winning?
advertisement up here now.
Who's winning in the poll right now?
The poll, let me take a look.
It's hard.
So, wow. Oh, holy crap. How did we get 350 responses? Okay, somebody went and broke the poll because somebody
Where's
voted.
the poll at?
Somebody is using a bot to auto vote the Q continuum.
Misty.
Somebody is. I can see because it's constantly going up by one, like every 7 seconds. So they're either just spamming refresh or something. But yeah, we'll
That just made your poll worthless.
No, I can literally get rid of all that. So that's a good thing about forums is you can manually destroy all that. Bam. I've got the power. Don't you forget it. Here, I'm gonna
I have the power.
boom.
I think for long term, you still want to go with Cardassians.
Oh my god, you got the screen, the view screen, Rev. The view screen's on your screen.
Yeah, I know. Not only the view screen's on my
What's my
screen,
screen popping up?
but my whole
But
thing
how
is
would you
stuck.
do the queue though?
It's easy.
Pretty
You literally just bring them in the game. You don't even have to do anything fancy.
Yeah, but his officer ability would be to do what?
No, you bring
Maximize
them in the
everything.
game as a storyline, and that's it.
His officer
have
ability
to
would
bring them in.
be he costs like $900 to unlock, and his officer ability was 50% chance to throw the ship that you're fighting back into its starbase.
That'd be fudged.
Yeah,
He-Man is not part of Star Trek. We've got to be.
He-Man is definitely part of Star Trek. What are you talking about? He-Man is
I
Star
have
Trek.
the power.
Star Trek, he's He-Man.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, the poll, taking away the Q votes, the Cardassian Union and the Dominion are the two leading votes getters so far. So,
Cardassian.
and honestly, the Federation has a lot of votes, but not that many. It has 6%. So,
Oh, there's
Where is
6%.
Cybertron on that map?
Cybertron, Cybertron is
It's closer to Uranus.
It's actually over by the Breen. It's hanging out with the Breen. That's where Cybertron's at.
I'm thinking Cybertron though would be a problem because you have Transformers.
Transformers, robots in disguise.
How would that be a problem? They didn't copyright the word Cybertron.
Then you have transforming ships come out of base.
Yeah, why
You
not?
have one a ship and an officer. Hey, Transformers were in World of Warships. Why can't they be in Star Trek?
They were in World of Warships?
Yeah, they did.
could
They
be
brought them in for a quick minute for an event.
See,
When they
I
were,
agree
like,
with
the
Jared.
captains.
I think the game is so heavy fed.
Diluted.
We really got to lean another direction. And I know they've thought about other directions. I don't know if no one has seen this, but there is a certain silhouette that's been shown in the game that is of a race that's on the list. I don't know if
I haven't seen the
everybody's
silhouette.
seen that yet, so I'll send it to you. No one, but
All right.
basically, I'm gonna leave that kind of like as a y'all go look. But it was in a mission. It's a silhouette mission, officer. You know all the people that pop up when you're doing the missions, like all the random people. Most people you just spam
Oh, the
clicks. You
stuff
don't.
I don't read.
Yeah, exactly. The stuff that you don't pay attention to. But there's one, and I'm gonna send it to no one right now, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, that is on my list that I want to become a regular feature in the game."
I mean, Gold Ducat.
That'd be awesome if it was Gul Dukat, but no. I mean, it's a
Ellen
silhouette. I
Payne.
can't tell if it's Gul Dukat or Gul Ferran or if it's Picard yelling, "There's 4 lights."
How many lights? There's 3.
That's a really nerdy reference for you. By the way, what nerd out there with like radio energy would like to do a Star Trek podcast? Just not related to this game at all. Just a straight Star Trek podcast. Hit me up. The one with the most money wins. Just kidding. I do want to make a Star Trek podcast though, or just a nerd in general podcast. Like I'm watching WandaVision, and funny enough,
God.
having all these people complain like, why don't they just release it all at once? Oh my God, they're just stretching out the story. It could just be a movie instead of 9 stretched out episodes. I'm like, you completely missed the point of television.
Stretching out things is fun.
Wow. Okie dokie then.
Well, you got to keep them like begging for it. Like every episode coming in, people beg for it more. It's just awesome.
I mean, I don't even mind the fact that a lot of WandaVision has filler because a lot of Star Trek has filler. I'm just
apparently there was a whole synopsis on it saying parts of it were based on other TV shows like Full House.
Yeah, it is. It has, and I'm not dropping spoilers, but y'all can see some of this from the previews. They did entire parts of it, and there's a reason for that, where they're going through different sitcoms of different decades. Now, all the previews show that, so I didn't spoil anything.
Yeah.
If you scream spoilers in my chat, go tickle your own fancy.
Your fancy.
But yeah, I actually don't mind that. And here you go, no one. I just sent it to you.
Oh, I was waiting for it. I'm like,
yeah, I had to go sort through it through all that Star Trek Fleet Command crap I have. So,
Shiza.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
right.
Pretty cool. I've never noticed that actually.
Yeah. So, I don't know where or when, but hey, we know it's been worked on, made, tickled a little bit. I'm a tickler right now. Darren says, hit me up. Darren, I might hit you up, sir. I'm hitting up anybody. I would actually like to have like a nice 4-person panel of nerds to just go nerd out on certain nerd topics.
Prerequisite, you need a good mic.
Yes, you must have fantastic mic. Hector says DJ. Look, I love DJ, and this is not a slight at DJ. DJ is not the level of nerd that I am.
Mm-mm.
He loves the Star Trek that he's seen, which is not all of it, and he loves this game, and he is an awesome dude and an amazing car salesman. He is not the person I can nerd out with, where I know for a fact that if I'm talking about Star Trek and I happen to flip it to some random anime, he's not going to know what the heck I'm talking about. At least somebody who has an idea of what anime is and what other sci-fi shows are. That's what I need.
Black Clover.
Yeah. DJ's awesome. He's not the hardcore nerd like, oh my God, did you ever leave your mom's basement nerd? He's just like that normal person who loves sci-fi. I'm that level of like deep, did you shave your neck this week nerd?
I shave my neck every week.
Wow. Oh, the things that you get on our live streams, you don't get this level of content anywhere else. You don't?
The closer to nerdiness you are.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been watching, believe it or not, I've been watching the original series again. So
I saw that last year. Then I went to Stargate. I'm jumping all over the place.
Yeah. Fulian said you didn't watch The Expanse, though. No. There's a reason I haven't watched The Expanse. It is good from everybody's said it's good, but not everybody has access to all these shows at any given time.
I'm rewatching Andromeda right now.
Andromeda.
Kevin Sorbo.
Oh God, Kevin Sorbo.
Show that had the living shit.
I've met Kevin Sorbo. I don't like him as a person.
He's odd,
but I like his B-rated television shows. Like Andromeda is a B-rate sci-fi. Hercules is a B-rate fantasy mythology show, but they're not bad.
I enjoyed all of it.
Ulysses. That was a cartoon, wasn't it?
Oh, you hear that Disney's buying out MGM? Meaning Stargate?
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to do anything. I don't think Stargate has a big enough following to do like what Star Trek has done. Like it has a
They can try.
passionate, very small fan base. Everything they've tried to do outside of the shows has failed. They tried to do a miniseries set, failed. Several movie ideas went direct to DVD and kind of flopped. They tried to do a game that was an MMO style, like Star Wars did and Lord of the Rings, failed. I mean, I don't know if it would work outside. I mean, try it. Disney can throw money at anything and make it stick, apparently, but.
Well, they basically brought back Star Wars. It was kind of like one of those ones like, okay, movies are sucking.
I
okay.
think Star Wars is guaranteed to make money. Now, it helped that some of the new stuff has been good, but I think no matter what, a Star Wars movie would come out and make $1 billion. I just think it would.
If I may, Marvel was going bankrupt when Disney bought them. No one believed that superhero films could do well. I'm not saying
Fair.
Stargate same thing, just, you know.
I think superheroes are so much easier to draw from, though, because you have complete decades and multiple storylines and huge followings. Like, even if you had bad movie productions in the past, looking at you 15 Hulk movies, you still had such an ardent big
Sony.
following. People would still go see it. So
Hoping it'd be better.
Yeah, Farscape, Brandon Smith reminded me there.
Farscape was amazing.
Eat Sans says
they're
if they
ever
had
gonna
more
re-
Federation content, they could add the Vengeance. So they have worked on the Vengeance before, but I'm pretty sure the Vengeance is something they're not going to go after. I think if they would have gone after the Vengeance had they not been able to procure the license for all the other Star Trek stuff. Now that they have all the other Star Trek stuff, they don't need a massive big villain like the Vengeance. So I'd be very surprised if you see it in the game anytime soon.
So considering the Vengeance is just essentially a blackened, bigger Enterprise, I'm hoping that ship customization
With a hole in
will
it.
allow us to turn our Enterprise into a Vengeance.
You gotta remember though, the Vengeance was like 4 times larger than the Enterprise. So it's not like you just reskin it like it's on Halloween.
Rev, let me live my dream. Don't
Oh yeah,
be-
it's just also, how do you account for the massive freaking hole in the saucer section, which never made sense to me, by the way? Was that supposed to be
Because someone
aerodynamic?
sat on it.
Yeah, was it supposed to be like aerodynamic? What was the logic between putting a massive
supposed to
like
be like
V-shaped hole in
There
the?
couldn't be aerodynamic because you're in space. You have no resistance.
There is still aerodynamics in
pose an
space,
idea?
you pleb.
Resistance is futile.
Okay, so here's my idea on the whole.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond the obvious jokes, we've seen countless times in Star Trek that if they don't have perfect position, they'll miss when firing shots or be off the wrong area.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if you have an area that just has nothingness. If an explosion happens there, a fire can spread through the ship and damage the ship. If you need nothing there, technically having a hole means that you're going to maneuver more in battles and take less damage. So in other words, the reasoning can be, well, we don't need this here, so why just have a huge soft spot on our ship? Not the best, granted, not the best,
I'll see it.
but I'm trying here, you know?
Darren says the Stargate MMO looked good and I was hoping to play it. Same here. Same here. I mean, it's kind of like Star Trek. Like, I'm playing this game and I will support it regardless of if it has, the Hirogen come in as a bounty hunter group, but I want it to happen. And like Stargate, like I wanted to happen and I would have enjoyed it even if it was terrible. So now I just live with Stargate mods on current games. Like Stellaris, great Stargate mods. Homeworld, some great Stargate mods. So now I just live with the mod community.
Oh, can I tell you what race I want? in
Stargate
this
has
game,
my
by the
heart.
way?
Do you want Stargate Universe to come back?
Yes, I wanted
Mm,
to finish. I wanted to close the story.
It got
Even as a movie.
It got shut down before it could really go anywhere.
Even if they had to finish it with a movie, would be good. Just want it done.
Yeah, I just.
Because the first season in that was was fairly slowish, but then it started to get good, and then they shut it down, which was
They
kind
axed
of.
it.
But if you read the script, scripts about it, it kind of looks a little bit really interesting on the.
If you read the comic book after the last episode, it honestly starts to tie together a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to get into offbeat sci-fi, I would go with Firefly and Babylon 5.
See, the Firefly, while I love, Serenity was also good. How much of
Nathan
Firefly was amazing because it was only one season and cut short. Because if you truthfully look at all of Josh's work, most of his stuff, the longer it went, the worse it got.
Wasn't it canceled or something?
It only went
I
one
can
season.
say one thing about Firefly, I think it's very telling that Netflix had the rights for it, could have put it together cheap, and chose not to go for it. I
Netflix
think
put
that
together
speaks
things
volumes.
cheaply.
I think a lot of that though was Josh Whedon. So
I mean, I'm not saying I know everything about it because I don't.
he does
All
not
I'm
have a
saying
good
is
reputation,
it seems like
especially
such an
now.
easy slam dunk, and they chose not to go with it. And I think that is in and of itself is very telling.
Let's just get a whole Star Trek series voice acted by Will Wheaton.
Oh God. John says, by what
Oh,
level should
no.
we be hitting faction locks? I'm level 24 with 3.8 in Fed and negative 1.8 in ROM clean. My goal is to lock Feds by 25. I mean, I would say 28 would be what you're shooting for 10 million. Once you
30.
get past 5 million, it gets really tough to consistently grind that. But you're also not dual grinding because you made bad life choices. But you could do it by 28. I'd be very surprised. I mean, you can do it before that, but dude, you'd be have to. Gosh, if you did about 25, you mean relying on Vidars and Kamaris. If both of those were maxed, yeah, I guess you could technically do it. But why would you want to do that to yourself?
That's a PETA.
That is, yeah.
Kamari's not that. It's a decent ship, but it has its limits.
The Kamaris basically become useless with the Stella coming out at 28, the Vidar at 25.
Vidar.
Yeah, it's the Kamari used to be a great little battleship, and it's still a good ship in terms of how it's built. It's just, is it worth spending resources on? Yeah, probably not. JS says, I have a buddy who dual faction locked at 26.
Holy.
Awesome for you. I'll just say this. It becomes so much easier to faction lock literally 2 levels later. Why would you do all that grind at 26? Just level up.
Unless you have like no time in your day, or you have plenty of time in your day, have nothing else to do.
Matthew King says space is a complete vacuum and perfect vacuum because matter exists, blah, blah. Here's the point, Matthew. Almost every ship in Star Trek will make atmospheric entries. So, yes, aerodynamics matter. No, they don't necessarily matter in space, but since the ships don't stay in space, as evidenced by basically every ship, including the freaking original NX-01 Enterprise for some reason, you got to have some of that. Now, in the same point, the Federation has the worst ship designs in all the galaxy. By far the dumbest, worst designs from any standpoint. Like
the hospital ship?
Like a defense standpoint, like just an engineering standpoint, like just stupid.
Okay. Rev, have you seen Ferengi ships?
At least Ferengi ships make more sense, and they're not as just like the
not combat
Federation
ships
ships are
mostly.
literally like, what is the point of having a neck on a ship? None. Literally, hey, if you're the bad guy, shoot that. Or the massive nacelles with all the power in them. Yeah, just shoot those.
Like the Swarm did in the Star
like
Trek
in that
Beyond.
one.
Yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons I liked Beyond, because it was making fun of the fact that Federation ships are so easy to destroy. Like, hey, here's all the weak points. Gladly pointed out to you. I mean, I get it in the 60s,
not
you know, you didn't have a
wrong.
really good idea of what things were going to be, so you just kind of went with it. But you could have fixed it. I mean, you didn't start fixing that until you got to the Sovereign class a little bit and the Defiant. But it still went with that really just, this makes no sense design.
The Swarm's
I
kind
think
of
it'd be
reminded
interesting
me
to have the Sovereign.
of that film that it was young kids that went on to control ships.
I would wail out so hard for the E.
I do love the E. Great ship.
The E's a
I don't know how much I would wail out for. I honestly wouldn't spend anything on these ships now. I mean, the sarcophagus costs $300, so that makes me think the Sovereign class Enterprise E would cost $2,000. So I would not be wailing out for any of them.
And people would wail out though for it.
Somebody would,
I'm
it's just
gonna
not
lie.
me.
I'm thinking the first 5-star ship is going to be the Enterprise D, and I'm pretty sure it will be $2,000.
No, that'd be an epic. That would be an epic 5-star. Come on.
That's what I meant. Like it's gonna be it'll be the first 5-star ship available to us to get.
Well, if it's
No,
a few
that'd be
grand,
the
it's
end
going
of
to be
the
a whole
chain.
lot more than no. It's for it to be a
No,
few
I think
grand,
it
it would
looks
have to be a
fine.
3-star ship. And I don't mind it being a 3-star ship because honestly, with Borg tech being infused into the Kelvin timeline early, you can argue that the Enterprise you see in the Kelvin movies is probably somewhere near what an Enterprise D is. So
You might get a Borg sphere or a Borg cube.
I think the Defiant will be an epic, and the D would be like a rare G4.
well, we got to see them actually put the ships in because they just did Discovery and they didn't put in the Shinzo. So
Yes.
The only thing I'm going to say is this.
that's
The
like your
Defiant is
catchphrase,
definitely
John.
a
You've said that
stronger
3
ship.
times in a row before you've spoken. That's like your catchphrase.
Uh-huh. The Defiant is definitely stronger than the Enterprise D and makes sense to be an epic, but it's also going to attack people's nostalgia, and people love the Enterprise D more than Defiant. Which
Nope,
means
I don't
love the
know.
Defiant more.
That's a close one. It depends on the fans. I mean, I prefer
Yeah.
TNG out of nostalgia, and I would still take the Defiant over the Galaxy class starship.
I prefer DS9 over
Great.
anything else.
I prefer
Defiant has a
DS9 as
group.
well. I just think they can make more money off the Enterprise D.
I mean, if you want to talk about what makes them more money, they should
From
release
that
the
point of
NCC 1701A from like the Wrath of Khan. That will make them the most money in this game.
You mean the
Everybody
refit?
Yes, the refit from the movies is considered by most old Star Trek people as the greatest ship ever made. You release
The
that, you will make
sexiest-
millions.
The sexiest Constellation class starship out there, man.
It really is a
Constitution.
sleek-looking ship.
I don't think
I
it's
would
that
buy
great.
outright the
Constitution.
Defiant.
I
But-
would
Buy
buy
out I would buy out the Defiant right now if they added it.
Me too.
John says, "Are you high? Enterprise D is way superior to Kelvin in every way," but it's not. It's like, tell me how you think it's superior, because the Enterprise D in the Next Generation was constantly getting beat up by the freaking Pakleds and Ferengi Marauders. The Kelvin was not. The Kelvin was infused with Borg technology. Now the Saladin and stuff and the Kelvin, sure, but the Enterprise, dude, that Joker got upgraded with Borg tech. What are you talking about? That's like saying
So did
Voyager was
Voyager.
trash. I can hate the Voyager series, but the Voyager ship with all the Borg tech on it was a bad mama
Beautiful.
jamma. That was a bad mama
He's a
jamma.
beast.
Then I guess
Beautiful
here would
ship.
be the other question is if they did introduce the Defiant, what part of the battle triangle would it be? Would it be an interceptor? Battleship,
Oh, it's got to be an
explorer?
Oh, the Defiant. Defiant's got to be an
Warship.
interceptor. It's got to be an interceptor.
Inter-
The Enterprise
was
D
always
has got to be an
warship, so it'd
explorer.
be a battleship.
Right.
Let me sidetrack the conversation for a second. That mission that everyone's complaining about gets up to warp 65 thus far.
Well,
Yeah.
the way the game is right now, the G4 Enterprise A is what it's labeled. So I don't know. I think they've already released that. That
Well,
would be a
they have the
problem.
Enterprise A, and it's terrible. But I don't think anybody's brought. That's not the Enterprise A we're talking about.
Not to
Right,
mention
we're talking about
expensive to
Enterprise
repair.
A Prime timeline, not Enterprise.
We're
A
talking about the
Kelvin.
timeline that people actually care about, not the JJ
You
verse.
care about things?
We're talking about Wrath of Khan, 1982, 83, was it?
Gosh, is it really that long
83
ago?
was released, 82 was made.
Cut goes
You know what ship I really want in this game? And bear with me on this one. Give us the time ship relativity from the Voyager like random episodes with the ship
Nope.
ability that if you buy a pack, you have like 5 minutes to go back in time and undo the purchase.
Yeah,
And
that
give the relativity
literally
ship.
is not even how refunds work. So that
I'm just saying, it's gonna be the
that's
most
not even a
outlandish thing.
that's not even a thing you could do.
That one is right.
No, basically you activate the ship ability and put in a refund request, and the game occasionally has to allow it.
Yeah, that's
Just give us the time ship for that one.
all right,
purpose.
John.
I
We're
guarantee
going.
the rest of
Here's
the
your
game-
first
You are
warning of the night.
spitballing.
If you have another bad idea and bad comment, you will be muted. So
Aw.
we already had to warn Misty. Purposely stupid comments get muted.
Fine.
real.
Here's a real comment. Can we
What about
please get
your
Kardashians in this
God?
game?
All right, what was that?
I'm-
The earworm
topic.
that Khan uses in the movie. What about adding that to the game?
Adding
You know
what?
what we need to add to the game? The Con repairs back.
Yeah, that'll never happen either. Wow, Matthew says Wrath of Khan was 82. I was there and saw it in release. I'm that old. Yes, Matthew, I agree with you. You are that old. Holy crap. We have a boomer in the house. Shout out boomers.
Boomer.
Shout
I
out
don't
boomers.
know.
My dad
Gen
bought
X
it
is
when
a
it
boomer.
first came out.
Like,
Gen
that's-
X is also old enough because, for example, myself, I was born in 77. Even though I was 5 years old, I did actually see it.
Holy crap, Ghosty.
Sure.
You're old.
Hey, but at least it's not boomer, so whatever.
Rev
Yeah.
calls everybody old, even
Yeah,
somebody that's a year older.
Generation X, baby. That's it.
I was born in '66.
Shout out millennials.
I remember being
Yeah.
a kid and being
Yeah.
old enough to see a Star Trek.
And I'm
stuff in
single.
theaters.
And I'm a whale.
Oh, hey, Rev.
Whoa,
Get
what?
talking
You're,
to my mum.
hold on, I heard
You-
single
you-
whale, and I'd like to match up. How do I swipe right? What do I do? Who's the single whale?
we need to set up a dating service for whales because
So
some
Archimedes,
women
if
don't
I
like
find you an SO, what finder's fee do I get for hooking you up?
Hopes and
you
dreams.
get to marry you get to marry us, and I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to hook you up. I'm not trying to marry her.
No, I know exactly.
I've learned you don't get married. That's a bad idea.
He wants a thruple, okay?
My mom will be 70 in June, and she plays
If it
the game.
leads to if you find me if you find me a young lady and it leads to marriage, let's say $5,000, huh?
Oh, dude, that's not even like I will start looking tonight. Like we'll end this stream right now.
The lady would want the ring to cost
man.
$5,000 alone.
Archimedes out here just trying to, dude. That's like a nice little chunk into my kids' future college fund that they don't have. So yeah.
So single ladies out there, you need to send Rev Deuce an email with the picture and a profile.
Oh God, dude, that's such an antique. Did you do that when you had 56K dial up? My God, we don't do that anymore, sir. Email and pictures. Oh.
There actually is a Star Trek dating website.
I believe it. There's also Star Trek cruises, which I do want to go on. Every year there's a Star Trek cruise.
That's what you could use the 5,000
people
on.
that haven't seen the light of day in a long time on the ship.
Well, Star Trek cruises are definitely expensive. So,
but that would
That'll
be
get better when you start bringing like space cruises or whatever.
I want to see the Vengeance.
I want Gowron. I want Gowron. I want Martok.
Yes.
Yeah.
Martok.
Martok.
Like Gowron would be a good addition. I agree.
They'll probably introduce the Vengeance as like a NPC enemy ship for like a mission or something.
We need the Vorcha class battle cruiser.
I can get behind that.
That could be a 3-star ship. I've been trying to tell this to them. Like, there's this idea that there needs to be a set number of ships so they can progress through. My idea would actually be to like inundate the game with ships so that you literally have so many options. You can't pick all of them, and choices help direct where you actually go in the game. Like, if you want to actually be Klingon, then you have to be Klingon.
And you have to
like
kit
access
bash.
those ships.
And that way you could get the Vorcha and the Negvar and the multiple Burrell / Cavorts and
Hey,
Don't send any
Rev,
message.
did you see the season finale for Lower Decks?
no.
Okay. I have a ship idea, but I'm not going to spoil Lower Decks for you, so I'm just going to keep it to myself.
Good.
Great.
Sounds great.
For those who have seen Lower Decks, imagine the big bad ship from the Lower Decks finale in this game, and think about what that could mean.
I could barely remember 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Well, if you would get off the drugs, maybe you could remember more than 5 minutes.
I'm not on drugs, mother trucker.
Gosh.
I am.
Y'all watch out, man. No one's getting close. You're gonna watch his channel. He's just playing Raid Shadow Legends, speaking 400 miles an hour.
Hey, if I get sponsored, hey.
It's like, sign up.
If you want to
It's like,
go with the Klingons, give me the D7.
you've already got it.
Called the Bortas.
Yeah, it's called the
wait,
Bortus.
Wait, the D7. Isn't that Chancellor Dorell ship from Star Trek
I
Discovery?
just got my Bortus.
Bortus.
Bortas is a
Scrapped.
decent ship, actually.
It's just named the wrong thing. You've got the D7, which is the Bortus, and the Katinga is the Katinga, which the Katinga is just a refit of the D7. So
James,
The
man,
Burrell.
you're asking for too much there, man. A game without glitches, dude. That's asking for too much.
game without
This isn't a
glitches.
glitch. This is misnaming ships like the Burrell. The Burrell is a bird of prey, not a surveyor.
Because their mics in their mouth.
Yeah, somebody needs to like back up from the microphone.
Oh.
You can't talk like you're up in front of the mic.
Oh my.
What if that
Yeah,
ship-
exactly.
what if
James
that
says
shows
real
that
customer
Spock-
support. Hey, I got real good customer support today for somebody, so I can't gripe at them today. Today, we praise customer support. Tomorrow, we can gripe at them. But today, they get praises. Today,
Test,
they get
test.
praises.
Does this sound better?
I did
Slightly.
lower you, so yeah.
Little better.
Rev, I hope the Voyager update gets us the USS Prometheus.
Well, we'll worry about the Voyager update in 2023 when it comes because it's the worst Star Trek and it'll be at the very end.
But just think about the Prometheus. How cool would that be as a ship to have in this game?
Well, we even be playing the game then. Like it'll be like 6
Probably
people who
not.
got the
But I can
Prometheus.
pray.
Be like
It'll
6
probably
of them.
like small chance to go multi-vector mode.
You think they're gonna be able to do that much work for that ship? Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's not. Kyle says it's been too long with everyone and their mom building a Salian enterprise. We need variety, and that is kind of the point of the whole debate tonight. Like, even if they added something that you wouldn't even think is that big of a deal, like the Ferengi Commerce Authority, there's still several ships you can add, and when I put the Borg on the list, I specified that the Borg would include the Queen, multiple ships, and officers. Like, bring in the Borg and make them a little bit beefy and strong. Like, even if you gave it like the whales got a Borg sphere, at least add some little bit of variety.
They got a cube.
That one robotic race in Voyager. I don't remember what it's called.
We don't
where
even
they destroy each other.
No thanks.
The missiles?
Yeah,
If they brought the Borg,
Kathy.
if they brought the Borg in, the whales would get a cube, and then just like the jellyfish, everybody else would be able to get like a sphere.
Yeah, sphere or a probe.
Yeah.
Robo says Lower Decks is the most obnoxious show I've ever watched. Wow, Robo, you're showing that you're 400 years old. Lower Decks is amazing.
Robodex is Robodex. I mean,
Yeah.
Lower Decks is amazing.
Yeah. But granted, it's made for a millennial style demographic with the creators of Rick and Morty. So maybe you just don't like that style. Rick and Morty is one of the most popular cartoons ever made. You might hate it. But
Rick and Morty's amazing.
Yeah, I think so.
Rep,
lubba dub dub.
If we're gonna have Cardassian Dominion, we need the Bajorans.
Do we need the Bajorans?
Well, if you're going to bring the Dominion in the game, you have to start with DS9, then you bring the Dominion in after.
Bajorans don't have ships, so they would just.
Well,
be
no, they do. They have a sail ship. Then they have these small little freaking transports, and they had the little interceptors, which barely had warp capability. So you could give them to like level 10 players.
No, here are my thoughts. Those ships going to be interceptors in the true sense of the word. What if you have like an aircraft carrier type ship? It would fire off those Bajoran little mini ships to hit big ships.
Okay, but that doesn't even
So
make
are
sense.
we going to StarCraft now? The cruiser?
Yeah. Matthew says Gene would have nixed Lower Decks in a split second. Gene also, sorry, the worst Star Trek is kind of the best Star Trek came after Gene. That's just a fact. So
Hey, the funny thing is, like, Gene Roddenberry didn't let what's his name do the videos. The guy who did Orville, and he tried to be a part of it.
You mean his son?
Seth, yeah,
Seth
Rogen,
MacFarlane?
or MacFarlane,
Seth
yeah,
Rogen. God, not
They
Seth
should
Rogen.
add that to the ship
That'd be
roster
funny,
for
though.
Fleet Command.
Yeah, Gene Roddenberry didn't want DS9 to even happen. So
what are they
Why?
going to
It's
do with
an
the
amazing
simulated
series.
space?
Because Gene Roddenberry didn't want Starfleet to be too militaristic. He didn't want any wars or any true opponent he could have a war against. So he would have really hated the Dominion arc completely.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
Gene might have liked the first season of DS9. That's the
Gene
first
liked to
season
portray the Rainbow Unicorn Federation, even though it's incredibly unrealistic. I mean, there is no Rainbow Unicorn scenario where you don't have a military and you don't have that. It's just not. It's not realistic. I mean,
What will humanity
made
be when
Andromeda.
we get rid of scarcity?
We'll just be us on a bigger scale. The truth is, and people don't want to admit this, Starship Troopers is a whole lot closer to what our reality is than Star Trek.
Yes.
It's just a fact.
Yes.
It's just a fact.
A good bug is a dead bug.
Starship Troopers is closer to reality. Star Trek is closer to what we want reality to be.
Rick and
What we
Morty
believe
is
reality to
closer
be.
to what I want us to be. That's what I want us to be.
I don't know, Rick.
Yeah, dimensional, dimension.
Matthew,
Wait, let me get
TOS was definitely Rainbows and Unicorns. Yes, it was ahead of its time, but it was definitely a mushy, kissy, kissy. And I'm going through the original series right now, which is actually kind of cool to watch the original series because some of the things that have just happened the past 50 years technology-wise, like there's an episode I'm working on right now that's a two-parter that's about Captain Pike. Spoilers for those who haven't watched it in the last 50 years. And Captain Pike is confined to this device that basically keeps him alive. His only ability to respond is to beep once for yes and beep twice for no. Well, we have technology now where you can actually type out complete sentences with your eyeballs. So it's crazy to see just how technology has even outdated some of the ideas. That's a two-part series of Star Trek that literally
Professor
now
Hawking used that tech.
Yeah, it's a two-part series that literally doesn't even matter now because we've outdated it 3 decades later in technology. So that was kind of cool.
The
Starfleet
cage.
pads in 1999. We have iPads in 2000 and like what 6 or 8.
That's what actually makes me chuckle because I go back and watch like the Next Generation or DS9, and they'll have like 20 pads on the table. They're reading through different things. I'm like, bro, my device can hold all of them. Why do I need 20? Like, just put them all on one pad.
Only one use.
You even have those.
I like the episode where Spock is dropping individual floppy disks into the computer, and like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, Matthew says I can mention several episodes where the Federation doesn't get portrayed in the best light. I can too, and there's a couple in the Next Generation which Gene led, but it's nothing like the darker side of the Federation that we see in Deep Space Nine, or the darker side of the pre-Federation that we see in Star Trek Enterprise, or especially what we see in Picard and Discovery. Nothing like
Section
that.
31.
Gene would have never been okay with any of that.
That's one of the reasons why I like Cisco. Cisco made the hard choice. Cisco did what he had to do in order to make sure that the Federation survived.
Mm-hmm.
He only committed war crimes against the Marquis and such. You know.
No, that's not true. He also
whole planet. Jeez.
he also falsified a report to make it look like the Romulans were going to be attacked by the Dominion.
By the
To be
way,
fair,
I
that was
still
a gag.
contend that episode was an entire operation for Section 31.
He could have made a different choice.
So let's go back to Red's original thing, talking about his list.
Matthew, I agree. Like,
Absolutely.
he says supermarket doors, cell phones, med beds, all that came from Star Trek designs. Yeah, I'm definitely not crapping on the innovation that Star Trek definitely led to. I'm simply saying that from my standpoint of being the obsessed nerd who watches everything Star Trek over and over and over, even if I don't like it. I've watched Voyager several times, even though I don't really enjoy it. The best part of Star Trek came after Gene. His initial vision, amazing, but I like how it's been expounded on in different ways. I like the darker side of Star Trek in Discovery and Picard. I also like the darker side of DS9. The Next Generation is still my favorite because I definitely want unicorns, tribbles, and rainbows in the future. But I also need Cisco to sometimes kill 3 million people, or at least threaten to do so that I can save the billions that live in the Federation. So,
Nitty gritty. But then again, you could go back to like if you're going from he had Star Trek, and then he had Andromeda too. It was a side piece, and he went a completely different direction with Andromeda. If you're looking at that, where he had Noble bombs or Nova bombs or whatever you want to call it, destroyed whole solar systems.
So here's a fun little tidbit. The janitor from Scopely, who likes to come around every now and then, just said this. He's watched the episode. Said the Pike episode saved Star Trek when it was starting. They were having budget problems, so they decided to reuse material that was canceled from the first pilot, and that's how they created the scenes that I was talking about in the Star Trek episode, the two-parter with Captain Pike, which is a nice little tidbit of information.
Whoever that janitor is a real Star Trek nerd.
Yeah, it's really weird to have these conversations with. Really weird because they like know Star Trek, and I don't expect that after playing their game for them to understand Star Trek. But lo and behold, they do.
I got a feeling I know who it is.
You might know who it is. I mean, I know you've talked to them, so.
Yeah,
I suggest that we introduce
Here's
more
what actually really
action.
saved Star Trek. It was the conventions. When fans put on their own convention that drew so many crowds, that's what convinced Paramount to give Star Trek a movie chance. And when the movies were doing well, that's what got them to revive it as a series.
Yeah.
So say what you will about convention culture, but Star Trek convention.
I love
actually
convention
saved the
culture. And
franchise.
convention
Oh, I love it
culture
too.
is no longer a problem. Like, that might have been stigmatized in your time, John. Now, Comic-Cons and everything, you're actually a loser if you don't go. So,
Okay, first off, Rev, we're the same age.
no, we're not.
Second
You
off,
sound like you're 76. So,
I might have the back of a 76-year-old. The point is, what ultimately saved Star Trek were the fan-made Star Trek conventions. Those
Yeah.
fans who created are the biggest heroes for Star Trek, in my opinion.
Matthew says, don't get me started on Picard. I felt like they destroyed the character for the sake of political activism. Number one, don't agree. Number two, have no problem with political activism. And three, that character design is the only reason Patrick Stewart came back. And if anybody gets to say how Picard should be, it's Patrick Stewart. And if he likes it, shut your mouth. Now, if he hated it, I'd be with you. Like, yeah, it's terrible. But Patrick Stewart only came back because of it. So, not like the man needed the money.
He just loves acting, I would guess.
Well, I mean, he rejected tons of Picard-related and Star Trek-related stuff for years. So,
Well, maybe he was tired of just doing American Dad.
How are you tired? That is like the easiest, most fun job ever.
I want you to sit and read the script. There you go. American Dad.
Just be
I
your
actually
dirty
don't
self.
watch a lot
Okay.
of American Dad, so I'm actually not a huge Family Guy, American Dad, etc. fan. It's not really my shtick.
How does it work?
But
The episode of Family Guy when he goes in.
Oh crap! Hey, Rep, this might sound like a joke, but it's a real submission. I don't know
Okay.
what it would cost them, so it could probably never happen due to costs. But what if it's an April Fool's Day joke? They had an April Fool's event with the Orville characters in this game. Just for April Fools.
that would be hilarious. But the licensing, I doubt they could
Like
ever
I
make
said,
that
I have
happen.
no idea what the cost would look like, so it's probably going to be prohibitive. But oh my god, that would just be. I think we would all appreciate that, you know.
Hmm. Fair enough. The janitor might have heard it. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't
The reason
think
why
it'll
I'm
actually
thinking the
ever
board
happen,
would be a good faction is because there's so much material already there. It wouldn't take a whole lot for them a whole lot of work for Scopely to make it happen. Okay, we already have the Vidar. We already have several of the Borg officers. We have some of the Borg space already in play. All we have to do is assign a faction points to the Borg probes.
Not to mention, it touches 4 different Star Trek series in great detail. Like, it touches more series, but I mean, like, it's really integral to 4 different series, and so it'll make it easier to add to other arcs in the future. You know?
Right. My idea would be have the you actually gain reputation with the Borg by destroying the probes, which are cast-offs from the collective. They're defective technology, and they have to be
Well,
contained.
that doesn't make
within the-
sense because the Borg would never like third party this situation. Like they would never hire the
Exactly. What are they-
Federation or Independence or the Hirogen to go hunt down their rogue Borg.
What are they like? The
wait,
street sweepers of
Ref.
space?
Ref,
You
hold
also
on.
said,
What if
but
it's
you
not
also
a
said
Borg? What if it's not a Borg faction? What if it's a faction of the freed Borg we see in Picard, and so they pay you to destroy the Borg ships to recover drones for them to rehabilitate and free?
that would work.
Ooh,
I like
Matthew.
that. I like
See, this is weird because Matthew. I almost feel like we're getting revisionist history because this isn't how Gene was all. But Matthew says the originals were allegories, but not extremists in their views and the political stuff they put in the show. They didn't favor one political side over the other. Gene himself has had so many interviews that negate that. Like the show was very, very much one-sided in its political view. I'm not sure where that
Ref,
comes
can I
from.
list off the political views?
Please
May I
don't,
list
because
them
I don't
off?
want to start a political debate. But
Okay.
that's the point. Like you can say agree to disagree, but that's just wrong. It was a very one-sided show, and that's one of the reasons it was not popular with a lot of people. And Gene has said as much in a dozen interviews. That man had never shied away from saying his opinion at all. So I can't be with you on that one. It was very direct in the ways that Star Trek purposely attacked things like the Cold War, racism, and none of those were popular opinions at the time. So
I'm just posting in the chat.
So,
Well, if you want to get into some of the stuff he attacked, you could also get into with the Next Generation line, where you have Dr. Soon, and you also have the Data character and Brent Spiner. But that's
Yeah.
a whole other story in and of itself. Because Brent Spiner, with that character, he loved it and hated it at the same time. I don't know if they could get it in the game, but most people don't realize it if they're not into the lore. But Dr. Soon is actually an augment.
correct.
Is he?
what, one of
Wait,
the
I'm-
first
wait,
ones?
Sung is not an augment. He
is not.
He was one of the scientists that worked on the augment race, if that's what you want to call it. But he wasn't an augment himself.
Part of
not,
what he
like,
did in the
augmentize
there was an
himself, or
episode
he,
in where we're in, I want to say, Next Generation, where he's incarcerated, and he gets into the fact where he turns some of what he used to create the augments on himself to give him the intelligence that he has. He wasn't born an augment, but he was like first generation in the eugenics wars.
No, that first off, you're thinking of Enterprise when Assoon was locked up due to augments. It was Enterprise. but he wasn't one. He took a bunch of like, I think it was like sperm and eggs and fetuses. Like he basically created 16 augmented.
Took augment embryos.
Embryos. My apologies. I don't remember the exact verbiage there. But yeah, he was basically father to a group of augments, but he himself was not augmented.
And then because of his failure with the trying to
And also, if
perfect
you
human
remember,
kind,
the
then to make him,
Soong that you see in Enterprise is not the same one as Data's creator.
yeah, that's his
That's
father.
his like grandfather or something.
No, that's actually Noonien Soong. That's that was before he actually started working on androids. If you remember
Not
very
according to Memory Alpha, it's not.
yeah, if you remember the very end of it, he said he's going to abandon his work with augments and turn towards artificial life forms.
Right,
Yeah,
but
that
his-
character was Eric
Eric
Soong.
Soong, not Noonien Soong.
Yeah, that was Eric Soong.
It's the same character that plays Data. Same actor.
Okay, my memory's not the greatest, so yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, so it was a descendant of his. But Robo says no more politics. That's the tough thing about Star Trek, though. Like, you can't really separate Star Trek and politics because every Star Trek show has taken a political stance. So you can agree or disagree with the said stances and still enjoy the show even if you don't agree with the stances. But it's been political ever since its inception. So
Well, even just the mixture of races is political, isn't it?
yeah,
No,
for sure.
it's
The Next Generation
even-
has a lot of political themes in it. And honestly, some of the political themes have slowed down a smidge after Gene's death. Like when you get to the end of the 90s, early 2000s, it wasn't as heavy. And then it's picked up I'll agree that it picked up a lot more with Discovery and Picard. But I mean, it's always been politically driven. There's always been those subtle messages that they're throwing jabs at. I mean, there's no there's no hiding the fact that the Romulans and the Klingons were designed to represent certain people in our real world. I mean, Chris says whatever
Yeah, I
came of
mean,
that PvP Armada poll. I never did a poll about PvP Armadas. Never did a poll on that.
We draw inspiration from our life experiences, so that's kind of like.
If I can ask, what's a PvP Armada?
PvP Armada is basically what Armadas were supposed to be. At least that's what they were announced as originally. When Armadas, the mechanic, was going to come out, a PvP aspect, like multiple people hitting a base to crack it and stuff, was what it was kind of hyped up as. And this was a long time ago. We're talking about 2 or 3 years ago. But it came out as only PvE. Obviously, that's the one we play every day, know and love. But a lot of people, including myself, were like, hey, when can we finally get around to doing that idea, or at least looking into the idea of PvP Armadas? You want to talk about giving,
You
lower
still get
players
that,
the chance to fight back against bigger players? Well, if they don't shield, it's their fault.
I mean, you still get PvP armadas when you're launching armada. and
No,
somebody
that's not the
else-
same thing, Kenny.
No, what we're talking about is where you actually attach a ship of yours to an armada, and then another group from another alliance try to take it over or destroy it, and you're supposed to be defending it.
Yeah, that's not
Or-
the same thing as
That's
what we're
like
talking about.
the fight.
You create a fleet of your own ships and attack one thing.
Yeah.
Attack a whale's a whale's base.
Now I get it.
Yeah, sort of like what you can do with Mech Warrior. You can control all of your mechs for synchronized attacks.
Yeah, I mean, I see why they have the ships in reserve for the armada. So, I mean, if other players come in and take out the stronger ships,
Yeah, but we're talking about a different
mechanic.
mechanic, Kenny. You're not talking about the same thing we are. We're talking about using armadas specifically for PvP, like hitting a base.
Right.
To crack that whale.
So, I mean, it's an idea, and it's definitely one that I like. So,
Well,
we'll
you
see.
don't. All you'd have to do would be like select the base and then select it to make an armada on that base, and it'd be the PvP selection
Exactly.
armada rather than have to
So
make a difference.
we'll just have to see how that progresses. Robo says the TOS Romulan Warbird with the eagle painted on the underbelly, gorgeous ship. Would love in the game. That By the way, the leaders of the poll, we've had 483 responses so far, and right now most people want the Cardassian Union, followed by the Dominion in the vote selection. So,
Well, that just means they need to go ahead and introduce the DS9 arc ahead of schedule, so that make that happen.
I mean, part of me is yes on that. Part of me still wants the next generation next. The only problem I have with the next generation is there's not easily identifiable enemies in the next generation, because the entirety of like all 7 seasons is basically episodic. The only thing in the next generation that's a really true enemy is the Borg, and then Voyager basically just said, hey, those guys aren't really enemies, they're weak. But that's the only drawback to doing the TNG arc. Who do you really pick out as the enemies of the next generation? The Cardassians are only kind of hinted at, and that's because of DS9. The Borg are kind of sort of an enemy, but they're an overpowerful enemy they can't even fight. And besides random run-ins with, like, you know,
Saleya.
Yeah, and random races that you don't even remember, there's not really a big enemy in the next generation. The enemy is their own self. They're overcoming themselves. They're growing.
So here's an idea.
Q.
Hold on, here's an idea. What if we have the TNG arc, the Borg become more of a threat, they're harder to hit, and they're more of a problem, and then the Voyager arc introduces something to fix that problem and make it more manageable.
Mm-hmm. Corvus says
There's another-
Cardassians were a background enemy. Yeah, and the Cardassian idea really only started to spring about as TNG aged, which means they were passing it off to DS9. So I would have honestly enjoyed being a little bit older, so I could have watched TNG and DS9 be on side by side and then kind of see that progression. Probably would have been pretty enjoyable as a fan to kind of see. But I mean, dude, they could do an arc, and Star Trek Online has done this. They could just do an arc about Klingon Civil War, like actually get into it. Like the Separatists that are in the game, that was the idea, was a Klingon Civil War type thing. But they never really expounded on it. There's no true story. There's no depth. There's no extra ships. It's
Well,
all
there's
things I
an
think that they
idea for a
need
new
to
series.
jump in on.
An idea for a new series, Star Trek Races. And you can go into like Star Trek England or Star.
One thing I'd like to see introduced to the game that I think would really help the economy of the game would be an auction, sort of like what you have with World of Warcraft.
I don't play World of Warcraft, so you have to explain it.
Okay, how the auction works, any player can go in and buy whatever's listed, but in order to sell items, you have to pay. So this would benefit
terrible.
the whales so they could get rid of the stuff that they don't need, and it would help the smaller players by obtaining items.
I would say who in their right mind would sell something they don't want to have just to get rid of it. But then again, this game, the player base spends stupid money on things that I think are just ridiculous. So that might be an idea. You just get whales to literally pay to sell their crap to people, I guess. That's okay. I mean, if it would work, sure. But
if I'm getting random Enterprise blueprints from Armada packs, I already have an Enterprise. I wouldn't mind selling extra Enterprise blueprints I don't need anymore. And if I win an event and get an avatar that I already have, like the Constellation avatar, they would need to be able to sell my secondary one. Like I won that event twice, you know?
Yeah.
And to
What
prevent
about selling my envoys?
How about we put it in with the Alliance, that Alliance can share their things, and then they can trade it, intertrade or Alliance.
yeah, see, the inventory system I've already recommended. I'm hoping that the janitor and the assistant to the chair assembler and all those actually use it, but we'll just have to wait and see. That if they do it, it will be a year from now. So hopefully I'm still around.
You know, what I really want, which could actually tie in with the Klingon Civil War arc, make it so alliance diplomacy actually matters. Like right now, people can randomly say you're friendly, you're allied, you're enemy. I'll dump your alliance and go to theirs immediately. Like right now, it's there, but there's really nothing important there.
Well, I
What if
mean,
it actually-
it's the same problem that 99% of this game has. There's no depth to any layer of this game. There's no depth to the factions. There's no depth to your choices. There's no depth to story. It's really a point click with a great community and a lot of options. It really needs depth in whatever direction they want to go in. They've yet to provide that in any layer. And that doesn't just mean researches anything, but actual consequences. Like there's no consequences for researches you choose or ships you choose or officers you upgrade. It's I like their original idea, and this was the big pushback with the 10 mil lock was, originally the game was set to where you actually picked a race and you followed that path. But you can't then give options to literally everything and then say follow a path. That takes away all the depth and all the desire to be Klingon or Federation. And they need to find a way to get back to that, because if you ever want to really progress this game and keep it going for a long time, there's got to be depth to story that draws people in and keeps them there. And at the moment, there's none of that. It's just we're sitting for the next thing to get pulled out of the hat instead of having replayability.
See, here's the only issue with that thought. I like that idea, but let's say they introduce it today and I pick Federation. What happens when they add Cardassians and now I want to be Cardassian?
Then you find a way to betray, and then you lose your bonuses or something. Yeah, it has to be like a bonus. Something like if you're working with the Federation, you unlock special Federation researches. You're no longer with them. You lose all the research and stuff you put into that. And there's already aspects of the game where you can go in and out of different things. But that would kind of be the thing. Like you have to work to the Federation to access a Federation research tree. Federation ships get all kinds of bonuses and stuff, mining speeds, cheaper repair costs for Federation ships. But as soon as you leave that faction, you lost all the bonuses. Exactly how territory works.
I've got an idea along those lines. Have an embassy building that gives those kinds of bonuses.
Yeah, like your alliance chooses who they're working with.
Or you can incorporate it into your promotions.
And you build the embassy building in your station to help make that larger, get more bonuses, benefit more.
I mean, something that gives depth to the game is, I think it's paramount to eventually get to, because at the moment, I don't mind necessarily all the new content, but like right now, there's absolutely no point to that Mayflower you had except for scrapping. But if you were Federation, faction pushed, then maybe that Mayflower is actually still useful at level 39 because of all the bonuses you're getting, and it pushes that Mayflower up to being a useful ship at 39. But if you lose it, then the Mayflower becomes a piece of crap again. Actually give you a reason to keep some of the stuff around. I mean, a reason to keep some of the officers around that you never use. Maybe there's a bonus that actually makes Arcadi worth using for morale.
Have something that gives the common officers a bonus when they're used in your below deck.
So anyway, there's ideas to go with there.
Ship type I would like to see would be a troop transport where you could actually dock with a ship out in the field to exchange crew.
Yeah, or beam the crew over from ship to ship.
Matthew says they can't go that way because some of the researches was achieved through real world purchases. I'm talking about completely new researches and everything. So I'm not taking away anything that people pay cash for. This system would be a completely new system. And if you establish it as a mechanic that said, look, you have to understand, if you put money into this and leave it, you don't get your money back. It's that simple. Then you just be Federation. But if you want to swap, and you will have the ability to go back and forth. But I'm not talking about taking researches away from anything.
This is all good ideas for Star Trek Fleet Command 2.
Well, there's not going to be a 2, so they're expounding on this game, and eventually want to take it farther than this. They've got grand ideas of PCs and PlayStations, so they're not going to be a Star Trek Fleet Command 2. You got to fix this one.
Whatever happened?
As long as you can transfer your data from your mobile data onto your PC or on.
Oh, it would just be cross-platform. So.
Whatever happened to away teams and away missions?
Still on the way. By the way, why am I showing 3 buildings right now? That's weird.
Oh, hey Rev, just while the janitor might be listening, my dream building for the station, put in a holodeck, and the whole purpose is you can basically say, here's a ship, here's a crew loadout, create a generic hostile, let me test this crew. Have an actual building where we can actually test out crews without repair speed ups, without flying like 20 minutes out of our way in certain areas, test PvP crews, test PvE crews, literally just have something like that.
Working on that with our officer spreadsheet. Because that won't come to the game.
Like, we shouldn't have to have an out-of-game tool for this. It should be built into the game. That's what I'm saying.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda. That's not.
And just because you talk to people, just bring up the idea. That's all. Make sure they know we want it.
I don't think they'd care about that one, to be honest with you. I don't think it'd have. Reason why is I don't think it'd have enough push behind it. I don't think enough people would want that. Very few people
You
ever
hear that,
come to me
people in the
about that
chat?
stuff.
Speak for the holodeck.
That is a good idea. The holodeck where you can check and see how things work. Yeah, that.
I don't like it because it sounds like something that's just going to break the game even more than it already does. I don't like it. Mechanically, I see that being a problem with the game, so I don't like it.
Simulator of a simulator. It's like,
And for example, how much does it cost to repair that auger from dead?
At my tier, it's about 100,000 tritanium.
About 800,000 for me.
So if you could run a simulation to see whether or not it would work, then that might be that would definitely be in your benefit to do so.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, you literally just ask somebody. It's already in the game. I said this game is laggy and buggy enough. Adding a simulator into it, I cannot see being stable. But hey, y'all are always welcome to shoot ideas, and if they become something, they become something. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean somebody else don't like it.
And one thing we need to understand too with our idea is this is a mobile game. I mean, this is it's never going to have the depth or scale that.
Once again, they don't see it as a mobile game. And every time I've talked to them for 2 years, they don't see this as it's an argument that I've gotten into them with so many times. They don't see it like that. They don't want the game to be a simple mobile game. They're pushing for bigger.
They need to push harder.
I mean, I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, they've already said to me, Panic has said to it, several devs have said it over 2 years, that they don't see this as a mobile game. They don't see it as a simple, basic click. They see it as something deep. And if that's the case, then I expect deep.
Yeah, one idea I would have is that you can drop your cargo from your ship so someone else can pick it up, or you can pick it up with another ship. Like you're doing a hostel grinding and then you eject your cargo and you pick it up with your mining ship or something like that.
See, I don't like the idea of ejecting car. I don't like the idea of putting anything in the game, like actually us putting anything into a system, because it causes lag. But that's why I like the inventory idea that I did for the Alliance, is it uses a system that's already in the game. It doesn't add anything else. You ejecting something into space easily becomes exploitable as you get, people to eject 300 things into a system, and now nobody can warp into a system because there's a limit to how much can actually spawn in a system. So
instead of that, then how about a long-range transporter that you have to actually get pattern buffers from armadas in order to use,
or just use an inventory system like every other game, and then have alliance trading. Just trade within your alliance.
Either one would work.
Yeah, it's because that's the thing is I have to, like, every idea I come up with now is also me thinking, will it work with the infrastructure of the game and where the infrastructure can maybe go? And there's some great ideas that I just don't think work with how the game is built.
Who are you talking to?
They'd be better for like Star Trek Online.
What?
The reason why I'm saying long-range transporters because that actually is canon for the game, for the
about
series.
my game.
So, Christopher says, I'm done giving them direct feedback until they shorten the surveys and return burning. I actually don't mind when surveys are longer because I want to be able to provide as many answers as possible. 100% with you on return burning, though. 100%.
Hey, Rev, I have another idea for the sarcophagus, not for cargo.
Surprise.
But I have an actual idea for the sarcophagus that might make it more appealing. Drop the requirement to be on a capture node. Just make it a much stronger ship during TC only. That way, if someone has like a level 43 Enterprise against a level 22 player, the 22 player might actually stand a chance with their sarcophagus.
Kevin says if they're planning to take it further, does infrastructure matter? 100%, because you can't just recreate the game. You've got to work on the Unity platform you've built it on, and you can improve upon that platform, but you can't just recreate it.
So it's like MechWarrior Online, a different game that's very, very limited because of the platform that they chose to do it on. There's only so much you can do with that. Same with this game. You've got to work within the parameters of the programming.
The technology is coming on so fast and so quick that we can transfer information through mobile phones quite just as easy as you can with the.
Yeah, but now we need them to catch up. Scopely's code works very slowly.
It seems to me like they didn't put any line comments in their code because now they don't know what to do to go back to fix the stuff that's broken.
Bill says, did you discuss which officers are currently turned off because of the solo leaderboard? I didn't, but I did turn in that bug last Friday, that exploit that was happening. And a lot of things happened, including banhammers getting dropped. So that was fun.
Wait, what happened?
There was an exploit with certain officers like Severus that was basically, I called it the Rialta bomb. That's what I named it when I was turning it in to the devs. But you could turn a Rialta, I think the highest I saw was 42 trillion whole health. So,
holy crap.
Yeah. Very bad exploit that was taken care of. But that was fun. I thought about making a video about it. I might do that tomorrow just to say, hey, they took care of this, so you don't have to deal with this on your server. But
God. Can you imagine territory capture with a 42 trillion whole Rialta?
well, there was a solo leaderboard, and somebody had scored over 800 trillion points, which kind of makes it really obvious. Hey, you're exploiting the game. Like, don't hide it at all.
I mean, here's a question: like, how can somebody get power rated of 3 billion in one night?
The resources rated?
Yeah, 3 billion resources rated in one night.
They raided a whale.
Yeah, I've done
Lots of
a couple
dilithium.
billion in one night. Yeah, I've done that in
it's-
one night on a whale.
It
It was fun.
57. This server's only been going for like 47 days.
Well, here's the thing. If you have a max tier faction miner, like a level 30 miner with a max Dawn, that's about 3.5 million cargo hold. If you have the perfect position, you can do about 6 hits per minute. That's 35 million per minute, or about 1.8 billion per hour. So if you have a big dilithium.
So, Sophia, I got a question for you. You say make a self-destruct, but you're forgetting that you have officers on your ship. So if you self-destruct a ship, you should be able to use those officers anytime soon. So what's the trade-off there? You self-destruct and you can't use the officers until when? Because if you blow up your ship, you would be killing all the officers.
Station.
I mean,
I raid a
raided
lot.
it 4 hours to raid and get 100 billion per steel and get down to some dilithium and tritanium, but I'm only level 23 raiding and
Y'all keep bringing questions, y'all. Come on through. Bill says escape pods. All right, well, then the escape pods have no warp capability. So how long does it take you to get your officers back? I'm just saying, like, I want to improve the Star Trek game, but I also don't want to just be so crazy away from Star Trek that we lose the fact that it's Star Trek. I don't want it to just be a sci-fi game with Star Trek plastered on it. For me, this is just me. I want it as close to Star Trek as I could possibly get. So that's not like a lot of the things that I look through. Is I'm trying to look through it through several different lenses.
Points. Legitimately and easily.
All right, let's see.
Well, I'm 11th on my server for resources rated on my server 57.
What's number one on your leaderboard? I'm curious.
My number
All right, you
one
two,
is
if y'all want to have elongated, very, very slow spoken conversations, can y'all hop to another chat?
Fine.
Thank you.
just say 3,800,000,000.
Kenny, I just said, if you want to talk about stuff, go somewhere else.
Right.
I keep having to mute y'all so I can talk to other people.
I do apologize.
No biggie. I'm just saying, like, y'all can have a conversation. Just, I mean, I don't want nobody else can talk while y'all are talking.
Okay, next question. Photon tokens. Any word yet when they might be arriving?
Nope. It's a great idea, still in the testing phase, which basically means it is extremely low priority. So who knows when we'll get them. You'll eventually get them.
What is priority then?
The main priority as of last week was finding ways to fix the TC lag based on some of the code problems we've been talking about, as well as some of the memory leaks that have been plaguing them with iOS. Like, I love some of the devs I've met, but I'll say it to everybody's face. They suck when it comes to iOS. terrible with it. They cannot work out their bugs with iOS to save their lives. It's been over a year. So that's their priority. That's what most people are trying to work on right now. I'm not saying they're doing a great job, but that's what they're working on.
Okay, it sounds like they need to hire people who know how to code in iOS.
Sure. I don't know. I don't really care because I'm Android because I'm an intelligent person. But I mean, it's I put out the video saying, hey, they're not used to seeing this problem. Can you send it? I've literally gotten hundreds of screenshots of pink blobs everywhere, and 98% of them have been iOS. I'm on an iPhone 6. I'm on a iPhone SE second generation. I'm on an iPad 2 Touch. I mean, whatever. I'm like, Jesus, it's just terrible. But
yeah.
But that's also like they've had serious issues since iOS 12 came out over a year ago. And it's been just every time something big happens, iOS takes a crap and they have to go find out how to fix it. And I messed with them because one of the videos they did, a behind the scenes video, they had an iPhone 3GS they were working on with the game. I'm like, well, if that's what you're doing your QA with, maybe that's the problem. But I did send in all the devices that people had reported were a problem. Every iOS device people sent me, and even a couple of Android devices. The only Android devices that really have a problem, like those graphic errors, are the really low-end Android devices that have got 2 gigabytes of RAM in them. So
I have on my trailer right now several thousand Samsung phones.
Why?
Because
You a trucker?
I'm a trucker. I'm
I was like, you own several thousand? That's a ridiculous thing to
lying to you.
That's a lot of
Hey
phones.
Rev,
Hey.
you know if
Wow,
they're planning on
Horse.
doing anything with Z Alpha and Taurus Cedra, those other systems that required the transwarp from the that Platinum Antique?
Are you asking if they're like making them better?
Anything with them, because they're kind of garbage now after they've buffed the research on the Devore.
I'm not aware of
chicken.
any plans to fix them. I will say this. I'm not going to gripe about those things never getting fixed because they literally made the game better with their changes. So if that meant
That's true.
taking the cells, which were not that great of a deal anyway, and basically making them pointless, cool, whatever. Carly says, are there Android notification issues? Okay, so let me explain how the notification issues work. And I'm not telling you not to gripe at Scopely. But Scopely built a system for Star Trek Fleet Command that automatically sends out every notification. Everything that happens does get sent. The problem comes to, does your device receive it correctly, or does it receive it at all? That's the disconnect. So there's a lot of problems that you can basically quantify as desync issues, where your phone or your tablet is not synchronized to the data of their server, thus you don't always get the message. That's an issue that somebody more nerdy IT-wise can answer maybe, but I don't know how you even fix that, because they've created the system to always send out the proc to your device and you don't get it. What do you do there? But they did build a system after they had problems over a year ago with people not getting notifications, and their answer was to create the system to send it out no matter what every time. So now everything does get sent, you just might not always be getting it. And now how do we make sure you get it? So
A lot of that has to do with your particular device, your internet connection.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff that they have no control over.
For example, I'll get a notification that my shield's about to expire in 10 minutes, and it actually expired 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, I still get that.
That's not their fault. That's just lag in the system.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, at the same time, I don't have all those problems with some other games, but then again, I don't even know what, maybe the other game I'm playing is not built on Unity. Maybe it's built on something else, or I don't know. I'm just saying that the biggest issue that they had originally was they didn't have that system in place. Now they do. So now the issue is not always Scopely, even though we like to hate on them for it. And it is fun to crap on Scopely because, it pisses us off a lot. So I get that, but at the same time, I want to be fair to them when they do try to fix those issues, that I give them the credit for when they've made those attempts. I still will crap on them for iOS because, in my opinion, as a low-level IT guy, when I did IT directing, you shouldn't have a problem with a specific type of OS for over a year, and those problems be continually recurring. But whatever. The janitor says, lie, you don't play other games. Janitor, I encourage you to check out my Steam library if you don't think I play other games. There'll be times I'm streaming and the third monitor has got like Hearts of Iron 4 or Civilization 6 up on it. But that's neither here nor there. Blackburst says amazing how the game works when they release more packs. But even then, y'all saw literally in a video I made last week where my pack store failed. So it's not even always then. Sometimes there's synchronization issues where things don't work. And every now and then my store doesn't work. I bet it works when I click it now. And it did. Look at that. Perfect. Gorgeous.
A guy in my alliance, he did not get the tickets for the Valentine's Day, even though he bought not only the $99 pack, he bought it twice.
I'm assuming he put in.
For that. So he had to reset.
Yeah, I had to mute tacos there for the feedback. Did he put in a ticket for that? Please tell me yes.
But in the $99 ticket, win no Valentine's tickets.
Well, let me know if you put in a ticket. If he didn't get it addressed, make sure they hit me up tomorrow morning, and I'll try to talk to customer support if they haven't gotten an answer. Because the Valentine's Day store is still going to operate for a couple of days.
Roger that.
But which packs did he buy? He bought the $9.99 packs, right?
He bought the $9.99, and then he bought the $99.99 twice.
Well, the $99 doesn't give tickets. Only the $10 one did.
We explained that to him.
Okay, but he did buy the $10 one and didn't get tickets, apparently, right?
As far as I know.
All right, if you put in a ticket.
That's when I talked to him last.
If he put in a ticket, tell him to hit me up in the morning, and I'll push it up if he didn't get his stuff, and they'll look into it for him. But he's still got a few days to. Oh, well, I guess he couldn't use the tickets. They would just compensate him any things that he would have gotten, like the little heart boxes. And yeah, the janitor just said that only the $10 pack gave tickets. So make sure you clarify that, because I do try to push things up the ladder if I have the ability to do so.
Appreciate that, Rev. I'll let him know.
Yeah,
Also,
we had a success story earlier today, and janitor was actually one that helped me get to the right person. But at the beginning of the stream, for those that weren't here, I explained that we had a player whose augment store was locked. He had maxed out the augment store, but his only options of things to buy in this augment faction store were stuff from tier 1. So he was using red data at 100 data a pop, and that's all he could do. He couldn't buy anything like the rare plutonium or stuff like that. And then they fixed it this morning, and that's awesome. So, I mean, there are times where they can be helpful. It's just sometimes you got to poke them really hard in the side with the prodder.
Yeah. Also, there's been one mining node that's been broken for as long as I've been playing the game, and I've submitted reports. Other people submitted tickets for it, and they always say, okay, they're looking into it, but nothing ever seems to be done about it. Any suggestions?
Put in a ticket. I'm just kidding. Okay, so I've said this before. The tricky thing about broken nodes is you got a broken node there. It's not broken on the other 100 plus servers. Yes, it needs to be fixed. I would blame somebody putting that on a sticky note and it getting buried behind a lot of other stuff. You know, because you got to remember things come up. An example being the exploit I just brought up. When I contacted, I don't have a nickname for this one. Y'all make up a nickname for another dev real quick. Somebody make up a nickname.
Bob. Joseph.
Okay, no, make up a title. Like one's a janitor, one's the assistant chair assembler. I need another title.
The gardener.
All right, the gardener. When I talked to the gardener, I explained to them, hey, we got this massive exploit. We're talking about people being able to single-handedly throw off events, whether they're big or small. Because this wasn't an exploit that could just make the whales bigger or just help benefit the small people. It was a exploit that would literally ruin leaderboards forever. So what happened was, from the point that I reported it, for the next like 3 days, it was, this is the only thing that matters. We have to fix this before everybody in the game who likes to break the game realizes it and breaks the game for every server. So everything that was getting worked on, to an extent, gets stopped so that we can fix this massive egregious issue. So maybe they were going to fix all those broken nodes on server 91, and they got put to the side and then they got forgotten about. So keep bugging them, because we just have to hope that that customer support passes on the note to the devs, because sometimes things come up, then it gets pushed, and then it gets lost. I'm not saying that's okay. That's really, really bad. But as somebody who worked in IT and had to deal with database servers, that happened to me all the freaking time. So, yeah.
Like I said, it's a matter of priority in this.
Send it to me too, and I will personally send it to the gardener or the janitor or the assistant to the chair assembler, whatever. I'm like, hey, look, they griped about it. Can you fix this one freaking node? And generally what they've done is every time a patch rolls around, they have a script that they can run that refreshes the nodes. So I will push it to them for me.
Yeah, there's more than one, but this is the one that I can absolutely remember because it's in one of my several different home systems I use.
Paul
the only
says
nodes
I made
I
up
see
the
get
janitor
fixed.
monitor. Yes, you did, Paul. Shout out to you.
The only nodes I see getting fixed really quick are the ones in territory. So,
I mean, like I said, I don't have specific answers. I'm not here to defend Scopely. I explain the things that I've learned, and then we crap on them when we need to. I would just say this, that as a player, and when I get to see the things they work on and things they don't, I would much rather have the exploit that allowed you to create a ship and score 800 trillion points in a leaderboard fixed before a broken node. That's just,
absolutely.
At the same time, the nodes need to get fixed, but like y'all got to realize that there's a lot of exploits that keep happening that y'all don't ever hear about because they react to them. Now, there's still tons of bad in this game, but there's also a lot of stuff that they prevent you from having to deal with, because if you did have that troll on your server who's dominating leaderboards for 3 weeks because they don't update their game, that would be very problematic for me.
And good evening.
Good evening. Let's see. Nadal says, I have Fed and Kling at 10 million. Should I push ROM or should I continue working on D4 and Int? Both. If you're locked at 10 million, you don't have to do anything more to work on D4 Int. Just start working, get your Klingon up to 10, and build that enterprise in D4 and Augur. Do it all. Do it all. Remember, your Vidar, really useful for getting the credits that you need to update that, whatever words.
the Vidi's my favorite. Vidi is Bay.
Vidar's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, that is got to be my favorite ship right now. That and the Devore. If you're going to spend money on any ship, get a Devore, please.
Devore, man, it's so crazy. Literally, when the Devore came out, I was talking about, look, y'all boycott this thing. Don't get it. It's pay to win only. And now it is accessible by everybody, and it's one of the best ships to have, regardless of pay to win or free to play. It's amazing.
It's funny how that changed.
And with this Latinum rush, 220,000 Latinum stolen by me today.
Wow. That's okay. It sounds impressive,
See,
but at the same time, I'm like, man, as fast as you can mine, you should have 200,000 a day.
Yeah, because I mined that in like 45 minutes last night.
Yeah, you can blow through that really quick. But
No, that's
awesome.
that's 220,000 stolen.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a decent amount. I thought you said 20,000 stolen. I was like, yeah, that's
No,
okay.
no, 220,000 stolen. That was in a space of like an hour and a half. My
Well,
wife
aren't
was
you
looking
a
at me.
pirate?
Yeah, my wife was looking at me like I had lost my mind.
All right, Giannis, there is not a way to try grind. Technically, there is, but it's not feasible. The only way to try grind in this game is if you did only armadas for faction grinding, because armadas don't take a negative. But you couldn't realistically try grind this game.
That would take forever.
So the only viable way is to either dual grind or solo, and you fly down that solo path, and then you do a second one, then you do a third one. I like the dual one because it's a little bit more casual and easier to obtain. If you are a hardcore player, the solo one's a lot faster. But if you're a casual, have fun, take your time, dual is a lot easier to do, and as well as giving you a little bit more benefits.
And does it only lock it respected?
No,
Take
it
note.
locked
It
at 1
locks at 10
billion.
million and 1 billion. That's where it locks. 10 million, 1 billion.
And
Which
what's
I'm
the
over
1 billion
600
mark?
million
What's
away
that?
from.
Nice, Craig.
What's the
Hey,
1
Rev, I
billion?
lot of
need some
grinding.
advice.
What's the advice?
That's
you
what
need?
I
Right now, I have 30 loyalty tokens. Should
Mhm.
I open the 30-day test or wait?
Here's the thing.
I know.
When photon tokens come out, I don't even know if there could be a timer on that to prevent people saving up 6 years worth of them and then just unloading them. I don't know when photon tokens are going to come. I mean, it could be 6 months from now. I would say get your benefits now, man. And if you missed out later, oh well, you missed out.
Bird in the hand, my friend. Bird in the hand.
Yeah.
Rev, I've got a question for you.
Well, I might have an answer.
I don't understand why on Armadas, and you have to push the button next to every single player to see their actual strength and to see how strong your Armada is going to be.
Oh, you mean
why can't it be
display error?
or only one button?
Because Scopely hates us. That's the real answer.
Wow, that's not nice.
It might not be nice, but it's correct.
I wouldn't say the answer is because Scopely hates you. I don't know how to word that. Yes, that's an annoying issue. Today, somebody in my alliance was giving me grief because his Stella was bigger, and I went and looked like, no, it's not. And then I clicked on him like, oh, yes, it is. Damn. Because I'm one of those losers that I finally got to tier 5 today. Like, shout out Rev Deuce, tier 5 Stella happened today. Yeah, no craziness.
Isn't
It only
just
took
showing the
over a
powers
year.
for the combat rebalance?
Yeah, it's which is still wrong. Like, it should display the correct amount. It should display the researches correctly and everything like that. But once again, I'd rather have my nodes fixed than my displaying ship strength fixed first. Like, if I could make a list, nodes is higher than that. All of it should be fixed, but we can't trust them to fix all the things. Come on. I mean, we've been here 2 years. They're not going to fix it all.
Hey, it's way better than when we started, Rev.
That's
Way
another
better.
thing is a lot of the cool people that I meet, and there's even some people right here, like Alchemist with Server 43. He doesn't know what it was like, and that's fine. That's great. We had somebody who was with 52 in here earlier and stuff. They don't understand how bad the game was 2 years ago. Like, if I started over brand new right now, I would think this is such an amazing game. I would talk so many good things about it. But because I know I don't have that perspective to compare Pro to Con, I just complain about it. But I promise you, most of the people watching this right now would quit this game if it came out how it did in 2019. The game was bad. It had no depth. Literally didn't even have the 26 faction ships in it yet. The best ship in the game at the time was the daggum Kumari. And it was buggy. 1/3 of the nodes worked. And a lot of the systems that y'all have weren't there. Like Narendra, the system that is now nothing but 3-star crystal, didn't exist. There was nothing there. They added in 2020, they added, or the end of 2019, they added like 300 of each node type of 3-star to alleviate the game, and they started fixing nodes. Little simple quality of life things like the little button that shows you what each system has, that didn't exist. The tabs for the refinery, you used to have to go into your star base and click on refinery. Do y'all know how stupid that was? Here's your good one. There was no shield button. If you were getting attacked, you had to go into items, deal with 400 banners of your star base flashing red, fumble through the other tab, find a shield, and manage to activate it while you weren't being attacked. I mean, so many things have improved this game. Warp cancel didn't exist.
I appreciate your hard work.
Yeah, I was the beta tester, and it's terrible.
It's easy mode now. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, we really are playing easy mode.
Way back then.
Back in the days when the Kumari was king.
Yeah. Now the Kumari isn't even
Don't
built.
even forget about the fact that they didn't have 24-hour shields, so you actually could KOS somebody into not being able to even have a shield in inventory.
Yep. Oh man.
Rev, what you're saying is back in your day, you had to mine uphill both ways and through the snow.
Basically.
But we did miss the
With no shoes.
Auto shield.
Back in our day, we didn't really.
I do miss the 5-minute. You know what annoys me the most about the 5-minute auto shield? And it's still up in the Discord to this day. They promised the 5-minute auto shield would come back. Almost 2 years ago. They promised it would. And it's still up. They didn't even delete the message. They're not even sitting there like, we didn't say that. They don't even deny it. They're just like, suck it up. You deal with it. Shut
up. The 5-minute auto shield.
Instead of 10 minutes when you hit a base, it only used to be 5 minutes to wait for the shield to come down.
That need to bring that back. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
because people want to
Especially
get
as
your
dead as
notifications
raiding
when
has
you get to the
become.
tournament.
5 minutes. It might not sound like a lot, but when you do raiding like I've taught, where you go into a system and you literally hit every single base, that 5 minutes matters. It matters a lot because you can drain a small base in that 5 minutes and then move on to the next one. Sitting there 10 minutes, it literally does double your raid time. So
You forget about the bases you hit
Unless you
when
do
you
what
get everything in
Dekex
the
does, and he
system.
hits about 3 or 4 and waits the season.
well, that's what I used to do. But now I actually do the entire system at the same time because I don't know what's going to have a shield or not, and I'm not going to sit there and do 3 at a time at 10 minutes a pop.
The whole raiding mechanic needs a serious overhaul. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Especially the higher level you get. Once you get to the point where you're needing 4 billion per build, it's
Exactly.
just
And
it
that's
doesn't
like
make any sense.
Paul says what makes you say raiding is dead. For the same reason, like territory capture, the fact that you have to long distance raid, and the fact that players have leveled up so much, the people who've been around for a year or more, that raiding doesn't pay for what you need. Like, for example, I'm sitting on 320 million tritanium with another 250 or so in the bank. That would literally only pay for me to get my jelly from tier 1 to tier 2. That's it. Done. And for me to raid 500 million trit, I would spend my entire night staying up to do that, to find the bases and distance raid most of them, because most people with goody goodies are living out in territory capture now. So while I can raid, my ability to raid has been diminished while the amount I need to raid has increased. So now 75% of the resources I get are from events easily.
Yep.
Maybe more.
Yep.
Maybe more.
Back before the pandemic, we would do what we called the bar stroll in Fury, and we would go around and look for whoever was at the bar and forgot to shield.
Yeah. I mean, it's in territory capture, even though I like the mechanic and not everybody does, it's still also opened up so many new areas for people to hide in. It's tougher. I mean, back in the day, everybody just lived in one of the faction spaces. So you would go in any faction system and almost every planet would be full, or maybe 1 or 2 spots. You just jump in, start raiding. Now you'll go into some systems and there's 4 people living there. So you have to long distance crack because you can't relocate to a system for 4 bases, because what if none of them are unshielded? So you have to long distance crack, then relocate, hope they don't shield while you're draining. It just has really put a burden on them. And I'm saying these experiences from server 20, which is one of the most active, biggest servers in the game.
Yeah, and they're all switched on, so they're shielding when they're away and they're online when
Server 19 here.
It's harder to kind of raid when they're online, innit?
Thing is, most of these problems have got very easy solutions to them, but they just don't even look to implementing them.
What's
like
like
the faction space issue. You fix that very easily by making that anyone can relocate anywhere, but if you're not in your faction space, you can't shield. Boom, that is fixed.
I mean, for me, the easiest way, I wouldn't even say that. Literally, just you can even keep your uncommon wall. Literally, just infuse the game with triple the amount of resources. People still have to get the uncommons to do the ships, but at least they can, when they have the uncommons, they can upgrade. Like I've got, and no Scopely welfare. I didn't get any 4-star uncommons, but I've got enough 4-star uncommons to get my jelly to 3.5. But I don't have the resources to do it. Give me the resources so I can get up there. And then if I get tempted to buy to take it to 4.5, then I'll go buy the packs to do that.
How do you fix that? Someone that needs 4 billion par steel to upgrade a building will take them 20 hours to raid that
By having a raid specific ship. A ship specifically that was a larger cargo system. And that's what we've been asking for a long time, to have something that comes like out of the box 2 million and it grows to like 10 or 20.
But this is the thing. The very easy fixes that they won't do. We're still asking for fixes for the generators and the warehouses and shit like that. It just doesn't get addressed.
If they do that raid ability, then they'd have to do the resources ability as well. So it compensates them so they can build back up and you don't wake up to a dead base. And
no, if you wake up to a dead base, it's your fault for not shielding.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre.
Rev,
I mean,
this is for your list.
It's
Let's
kind
add
of
an Orion
ruthless
faction.
way you're going on with it. Yeah, I mean, there are people that like to just play it in mine, and that's the thing. There are different styles of players, and
Well, if you're going to be a miner, get ready to shield a lot. It's just
and there's servers that have gotten on so well with their diplomacy that people are shielding.
Well, I mean, you speak of mining. That's one area that they could actually greatly improve this game, is if they made it to where mining the regular resources, dilithium, titanium, and everything, was more set how the game was back in the beta stages, where you could easily mine hundreds of that. Basically, how you can do Latinum now was how you could do some of the original resources. So if I could mine 10 million titanium a day reasonably, that would help fix a lot of problems too. Make mining worth it.
I don't think 10 million is nearly enough. If you're
I don't
focusing
I don't
on
think it
that on
is. I threw a number out there because if you went and mined titanium now, you get a couple 100K.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
But if everybody's mining 10 million titanium a day, and then I'm raiding, it does add up to enough.
That is potentially going to be resolved with away missions, though. Possibly.
I don't know, man. I don't know if away missions are going to work like
All
that.
these lore systems that are not like used anymore, apart from people hiding. I mean, they've got titanium, they've got power steel, if they did super speeds on those kind of systems, you need to port away to a level 6 system. You're a level 39. You need to port away to a level 6 system to mine super fast titanium.
Let's see what else we got. Kira can say a good start would be to increase the generator capacity and production by 100. Look, I've made plenty of videos about the terribleness that is the warehouses and stuff. So I agree with you. I'm just waiting on that to actually happen.
The warehouse needs to go full stop. Just remove it. Put something else in its place that's actually useful. That makes people think, yeah, I've upgraded this building and I feel good.
I don't want to
about
get rid of the
it.
warehouse. But
Well, if you give everybody a max infinite warehouse, that means that it fixes the generator problem as well, but where it never gets to the point where they're not useful.
yeah, but they're not
So
going to
you-
get rid of the warehouses sitting where they're at and everything. So there's
No,
gotta,
I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm saying replace it with a different build. If you've got a level 42 warehouse, then it should be replaced with a level 42 X, a level 42 bloody converter building where you trade your power steel for ore, or you trade your titanium for crystal, or whatever.
Just
Yeah.
bring back the tank.
Or
and
the ability to
and,
create
market the
tokens
thing.
from existing materials.
Yeah.
You know what? That's not the most stupid idea as well.
Or
Yeah.
even like sell off your
So-
blueprints to kind of the
That way-
syndicate.
See, I don't
That
think
way your
people would
generators
buy
don't stop
blueprints.
working.
I don't think the blueprints, like people will ask me today, I've got 1,000 Kira blueprints. What is Scopely going to do? You can't sell none of that stuff. As soon as you try to sell it all, the market that you had just created becomes saturated and everything is worth almost nothing. So I don't think
But
that would.
what I'm saying is, like, if they said it right, okay, you can sell your blueprints for a reward to the Orion Syndicate, which is a game enemy. So it's like you're cashing in your blueprints for, say, dilithium, power steel, or whatever the syndicate wants to give you for them.
You should be able to convert them like you can the ship parts, in the conversion store. So you can convert like 500 envoys to maybe a North Star, or 20 North Stars to,
No, they'll never do that.
Add speed ups to the scrapyard.
There shouldn't even
Yeah,
be
'cause I
there.
mean, that-
If
Yeah,
you're
that should
level
be-
40,
I
if
could
you're level
convert
40, you
1,000
shouldn't even
of your
see
blueprints
envoy
into a lot.
blueprints.
All right, let's see.
You
We
should-
got I can't even pronounce this name because it's in I don't want to say acrylic, whatever the letters are for Russian and Eastern European languages. Acrylic. That's what it's called from now on, by the way. Their language is written with acrylic letters. Says the update broke safe rating when your base is close to the enemy. Now when your miner's in the process of attacking with a station, other players can target it and shoot it down after the battle. This is true. I'll also be the first to say, and y'all might not like this, I have no problem with that at all. None.
Do it right back to them.
Yeah, you should be able to target any ship.
Yeah, exactly. Like there should be no reason why your ship is suddenly safe because it's attacking a base. In real life, if I'm on the Enterprise, I don't stop and go, oh, hold on. Let them finish attacking K9 first, and then we shoot them. No, I don't. I mean, while I do agree that it changed how we raid, I don't think it's a bad idea.
That means that you have to get your alliance involved to help guard what you're doing.
Or you use distraction techniques of hitting it.
Oh no, we have to use teamwork.
Yeah. So while it might have made solo raiding a little bit more difficult, overall, I definitely prefer that approach. Does anybody who's watching remember this base that I just parked next to? Did it have ships there before? Or no?
No.
I'm not actually watching. I'm just listening.
Okay.
No, it did not.
Well, it's got 2 there now, so darn.
I'd hit it anyway.
Well, I've got a 2-day shield, so I'd only drop if I knew I could raid it.
Oh.
Well,
But he's got 80 million dilithium on it, so it's kind of like, I mean, that's worth dropping a 2-day shield if he's not around. You know what I mean?
Rev, just ask someone in your alliance to do a 10-minute knock, record the stats, and see if it changes.
It's just so much work.
Hey, check his profile, see if he's doing any build helps.
I taught you all those methods. I know what they are. You don't have to teach me.
It's not teaching; it's reminding.
Oh gosh.
Every day you get older.
Bleeding.
Here's the problem with asking your alliance. That invites them to participate. I'm not trying to invite them to participate.
Just send him a message. Just ask him a question.
I did send him a message.
Just ask him whether he prefers pep.
Did he
Ask him if he's getting snow.
I asked if their knickers were clean, so. And then I'm going to hit their base with an enterprise and ask, did that make them dirty? All right, Stewie said he had ships there. Thank you, Stewie. So we're attacking, losing 2 days in shield. Now we're going to wait 10 minutes. And if the shield does go down, we're not inviting anybody to drain this base with me. How dare you even suggest a pirate should share his booty?
Oh, I attack for the titanium nowadays.
Well, it's got that too. It's got 73 million steel, 35 million trip, but 80 million dilithium. The dilithium is so nice because of all these stupid researches I have.
I've burnt through 400 million dilithium in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Red, how do I vote on this Google form you have up about the races? How do I vote on that?
You press one of the circles, and then you click send.
I can't find the URL for it. I'm looking at the YouTube channels, and I'm not seeing the URL for it.
Oh my gosh, you're so.
It's in the Discord.
It's everywhere. But you know what? For him, we'll post it again and again until it's done. I want to smack all of y'all, but I love you at the same time. You're like my kids. It's I love y'all, but at the same time.
That is one heck of an insult.
Is it?
He did say he loves us.
What do you mean?
Let's see. What's the best crew for cracking a base that is larger than you? With ships or without ships? If there's no ships there, the Khan crew. Khan, Joaquin, Marla. I think it's usually what I throw on there. But if it's got ships, Yuki as captain is really good because she'll shield strip. With my Enterprise, I basically just go with my normal PvP setup and I go smash, smash, smash. But that's with the Enterprise. When I'm raiding with like the Kumari or even the Vidar, I'm using a shield strip and then trying to get the most bang for my buck in the first couple of hits.
I still like the Saladin. It's just nothing to repair.
All right, so people want to know the results so far. We have over 500 responses. The leading response is the Cardassian Union, followed by the Dominion. And then after that, we've got the Ferengi Kamos Authority. Then we've got the Borg, then the Federation, and then the Klingon Empire. The Kzinti, sadly, only has 14 votes. People don't want the cat race, apparently, which is very disappointing. The furries and all of us are getting shut out.
Wait, is that the same race as the Doctor on Lower Decks?
Maybe.
Is it the same race in Doctor Who?
No, not Doctor Who, but the Doctor on the Star Trek Lower Decks show. She's a cat lady.
Oh, the dude's online, but he didn't respond nicely to my message. I'm going to see if he drops his shield, then I'm going to relocate and hit him a few times and see if I can steal from him. So.
That was rude.
I am rude.
No. He was rude. I looked at that message while you were typing.
Tim Gross says, "What if you have a Vocalist or a Kumari?" Don't even bother rating with the Vocalist in terms of bass cracking, but
Scrap them.
ooh, now he's using rude language. He said, "I'm a asterisk, 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 asterisk." Now I feel like I really have to crack his bass and drain all of his goodies to teach him a lesson to not use bad words.
You might have put in I'm a Q and spell it Q-U-E. It's banned.
To your faction list, can you add Wookiees?
Yes, Wookiees, please.
After my own heart there.
Let's
This is
crack the
Star
base
Trek, not
named.
Star Wars, you morons.
Are people allowed to name themselves Micro Penis in game? Because this dude did, and I cracked his base.
Sanity, turn him in.
Penis.
Yeah, should I report him and get him banned real quick for a bad name, and then I drain him?
Then rate him.
I've got a Hugh Jorgen in my.
Hey, people used to complain about that. Like, why would you report somebody and then drain them? Well, they shouldn't broke the rules. It's not my fault they broke the rules and then they got drained.
Them's
Their
facts.
response would be, "You're getting banned anyway, so what do you need these resources for?"
Exactly.
Because
Also,
you come back after your band.
that dude said mean words. So 6 minutes from now, we're going to recrack his base and relocate and see if we get at least 2 loads. Where's my Ston? We're going to get 2 million out of his base. That's the plan. 2 million.
You said 2 loads.
Yeah, we're going to put 2 loads in that big boy. Grits.
Yeah.
Tater salad.
Biscuits and mustard.
Biscuits and mustard.
I've got a brisket in the oven right now. It smells delicious.
Send me some of that brisket.
How much snow y'all get, Rev?
About 6 inches, just like your wife likes it. What?
Aw. No, we thought you liked them smaller.
Rev, this is YouTube.
It is. It
You're
is.
pushing your-
It's YouTube.
You're pushing your luck.
Oh.
It's a series of tubes.
Oh, is you two 17
yeah.
and under?
17. Yes, it's actually the sign on the door. 17 and under. It's the sign on the door.
You know what I mean.
Oh,
That's why Rev thinks of us as his kids.
yes, because you're 17 and under. What? I don't know. Well, that's probably not right. Do you know what ship is coming for the TOS arc if there is one? No. That's the answer. It's like, what's the no mean? It just means no.
You guys would go to Panic's Discord. Every time we have a new arc come up, you can
Panic's
ask him all the questions in the world,
Panic
and he
has a
gives you
Discord?
all the answers he can. And he said no ship for this series of arcs.
Panic is also wrong a lot, so it's not really.
He's been wrong for 2 years,
I mean,
or
he's
over
a-
2 years.
I'm just saying.
I'd like
that's not really a. No, not that I'm hating on Panic.
Well, the
Like,
one
he's
thing
not
she's
a
not
dev
having
or
the
anything. He
most-
doesn't know what's coming. He just knows what he randomly got told or saw. So
Don't send him private messages and cuss him out because he
yeah,
will
that's
get
really
banned.
stupid. There's no point in cussing out a CM. What did he do to you? He's just a poor little Greek man working in Spain. He's like 5'8". Let the man live.
CM means community
He made him
manager,
threaten
not
his life.
dev.
I just cussed at him a little bit. And I haven't
Tommy
done
says
that
need
for-
8 crew spots in the base. Negative, Tommy. I hardcore disagree with that idea. Like, big flaming no. Big flaming no. 3 minutes, by
Hey,
the way.
Hey, Rev, do you know when they're going to unlock 39 or deep space on these newer servers?
Which server are you on?
52.
Generally, it happens around 8 to 12 months after a server comes out. Somewhere there.
So I know I talked to somebody and they said they thought, so I couldn't quote them, but I'll still repeat what they said, that it was ops level for the entire server.
No, that has nothing to do with it.
Oh, okay. I mean, it made sense.
No, it's a time-based thing. And if y'all have like really elevated spending, the whales on there maybe complain enough and it happens sooner rather than later. But it's a time lock thing. The idea is they want you to have the same experience that we had when we were growing up with the game. So they want you to go up the driveway 2 ways, snow uphill, etc., like we did.
Right.
Then they need to have only 2 options for research.
It's also why your packs suck compared to mine. Like your level
Yes,
39s
I've
are
seen
getting
'em.
way less than I'm getting right now. So,
Dude, you best not
That's
say anything
true.
about that, or they might kick you from the content creators
oh
program.
no!
You want to watch out. You don't fuck with Scopely money.
I do all the time. But they still love me, so
Yeah, what's
What
with
I'd
that?
like to see is a button somewhere on the screen that you could hit that would make all the rest of the icons disappear so you could see the screen.
yeah.
The thing on the screen would be that one button so that way you could bring everything back.
Pete says they want it to take 2 months to hit level 15. Not that bad, but facts, it did take me 2 months to get to like, what was it, 18, 19? If y'all look at my videos, I started playing in November, and I think when I started making videos in January, I was still like 19 or something, or 17. So yeah, it took a long time to level up back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Even if you spent money, it took you a while.
Took me 2 months to get to level 20.
Less than 1 minute. Less than 1 minute. Hopefully this little, I'm not going to say a bad word, but hopefully this little boy takes his spanking like a man.
Yeah. How easy mode it is. It took me 1 day to get to level 15. 1 day.
1 day.
Can you believe that, Rev? It would have been nice back in the day.
Yeah.
How long has the game been going now? Is it 2 years or 3 years?
Over 2 years. November
Over 2 years.
2019.
Feels like longer.
By the way, shout out Amazon for losing my wife's Valentine's Day presents. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. All right, 10
It's
minutes.
all right.
Did it
Probably
go
don't
down?
mind.
Oh, he left his shield up. Dang it, I can't teach him a lesson. So what we're going to do, because he used such obnoxious words, we're going to save his coordinates as Ninja.
It's only been 9 minutes.
Duty.
Oh, never mind.
Ninja doo poo head. And save him. And we'll come back and visit him later. I'm going to be watching to see if he drops his guard while I'm raiding these other bases. We got 3 minutes before this other one drops. Matthew says, how many servers are you on? I'm sure you posted somewhere, but I haven't found it yet. I actively play 3. I'm on like 7. I try to be on every single one of their Discord servers. So like if you're on server 57, bam, I'm on your Discord server. I am here to help anybody and teach the game, have fun, talk nerdy, disagree about what's the best Star Trek. But I really don't want to play on every server. But I will come to everybody's Discord server and talk to anybody.
I don't think 19's server's that active.
Maybe not. What do you remember the Alliance event we had where actually you should just be able to look on the part 2 server. What's your point totals?
57 is not very big. 145 EU server is done in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like there were 6 brackets, I think, and we had the highest bracket for server 20. So it was like 4,200 points the last time. So we are a very large active server. Some of them are a little bit smaller.
1,200.
Ooh, Decix. That's a little baby server. It's like
Mm,
everybody
yeah.
quit.
To be fair, we've lost people recently.
Hey, that's
so-
trademark. You can't say that.
What is?
To be fair, that's mine. Can't have it.
That server is only 450 points.
To be sure, tell you. To be sure.
To be sure. Take your
Well, it's
clothes
something
off
I've
to
been
be
saying for
sure.
40 years, but I'll just have to reassess my life. So
Yes, reassess.
thanks for letting me know.
Look, Decix, I'm here to do 2 things. 1, help you free to play grind this game for no reason, and 2, make fun of you because you're British. So it's a theme.
I've still not got the builder. I won't drop $5 on the second builder because
You're no longer free to play.
I haven't done it. I haven't bought
I thought you said you did do it. I was like, how dare you, Dekix?
it. No, I'm
You
not
should
doing
have
it.
You should have tried to win it. You should have tried to win it off one of the.
I'm still waiting for him to get like a Katinga before I do. I'm like, dude, you're free to play and you have a freaking Katinga?
I'm pushing for 42 now. I'm.
But how close
about
are you to the
midway
actual
through 41.
ships?
The way if I wanted to get the faction, I could do it in not that long.
Yeah.
I'm just not motivated to do it.
Not motivated.
You don't grind every day.
I do my dailies. That's it.
I feel you.
Oh man,
there's not a lot in this game that makes me want to get up and go, I'm just going to do this to do it. 1 minute, by the way, before we're rating a microphallic object. Microphallic object. Dave Weber, are you feeling To Be Fair? If I made a To Be Fair t-shirt, who would buy it? Show of hands. Oh, dude, shield dropped.
Yep, I'd drop 20 on that.
Sweet. I was going to price them at 18, but now that I know.
I thought he said 20 cents.
Pricing them at $20. Hell yeah. Rating, we're rating. I'm hitting the base right now. Shut up, Craig. I'm raiding. Let me concentrate. This is tough work. You know how hard it is to do this? Dude, I'm clicking multiple buttons right now. Y'all don't understand how difficult this is.
It's getting the timing right, you know.
I know. It's like, and then the button doesn't come up, so you're not going as quickly as you want to. Like, this dude could wake up right now. I got to take it all.
You need to get a third surveyor on
that would be really complicated.
No, you just need to put fast moving crew on there, the pan crew or something.
Oh, no, that's a lot of work. I mean, I do have a Vol key, so I have all 3 faction miners, and the Vol keys would also be getting over $1 million a pop if I put a fast crew on there. It's just, I guess in my old age, I'm not getting as exciting as it used to be.
If there were crew presets, you could press one button.
Oh man, what a great idea that would be.
You should suggest
Crew
that.
presets. I mean, who ever thought of that?
I don't know, but I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to take credit for it too. I like taking credit. It's fun.
If it's a good idea that benefits all, who cares who gets the credit?
Narcissists like me. By the way, if you are in the YouTube chat watching this live, because we've gone over 2 hours, which is crazy, you need to ask questions right now about the game. Anything that you don't know, ask it now, or you're never getting an answer again. If I don't get a question within the next 45 seconds, I'm quitting content creation. You ask a question now.
I tried asking questions in YouTube Live, and it just went like I wasn't even there. That's why I came
First
here.
of all, you're a Wookiee intruder. You're in the wrong Star Wars land, man. This is not where you're supposed to be.
What color is your name when you
I
ask
San
questions,
says,
buddy?
why is Federation space so empty? Because territory capture. That's why.
What color is your name when you ask questions on YouTube?
I'll have to look again. Hold on. I'm just about to pull it back up.
Mine is gold. Let's see.
You don't.
Dima says, does 5 of 10's ability work for your whole group or just yourself in Armadas? Just yourself. Doesn't work for everybody. Just
What's the
yourself.
best way
Boxers
to
or
get
briefs?
territory?
Definitely boxers. I've got to have room to breathe, buddy. I just the only drawback to boxers is if you work out in them and you get the whole sticking to the side of your leg thing. That's a problem, but that's why you wear special workout equipment.
See with the territory capture, Rev. What's the best territory to have
Ooh.
all 3 of the research, like the quantum?
Okay, so save that one. I'll actually show y'all where to go. But right now, I don't want to go to that screen because rating. So, but we'll save it. Where's red shout out? We don't shout out red. We only support the color blue here. So red can suck it in the red versus blue challenge. Suck it, red. Also, is the Elia Mackinnon synergy problem fixed? Yes, I do think so. That was Ripper's project on the last patch. So I'm going to say yes, but also leave 5% room in there for me being wrong. But I know that was a project to get fixed, and I do believe it was. Lloyd says Test. Test was a famous wrestler.
That was me.
Oh.
I was seeing what color my text was.
You're okay. So your text is white, which basically means you don't support the channel, you don't give me money, and you're a terrible person. So just want you.
That's why your questions don't get answered.
That's not true. I read other people's questions, but when there's 200 people here, gosh,
I'm teasing.
Logic says, should I get the Saladin or just go straight for the Enterprise? I'm level 30 and use a 1 million Bortus. Definitely get it both. Get a Saladin, get an Enterprise, and the Saladin is not going to suck up anything that you need anyway. So, no, I mean technically, yeah. But
at what point does the Glad become better than the Sal?
Never. That's the point.
Doesn't.
Now, a Max Gladdy can beat a Saladin if it's crewed right, but in terms of what's still better and what I'd rather have, 100 times out of 100, it's definitely the Sally. Michael says Admiral Yankee just booted me. Why? Oh well. I haven't logged in like 2 days. He might not like that I'm a forever 14. So, and that base is empty. We got all the num nums. Nom nom nom. We got all the num nums. And now we wait for this 31 to open up, and it has how many minutes left? 4. Yeah, let's check on that dude who was a jerk. Shield's still up. Darn. Nom, nom, nom. I want to nom your noms. There's a random level 23 Vocalist with no alliance just sitting in space. I wish I could kill it.
I prefer to raid the people that.
Why can't you kill it?
Because it's level 23. It's too low for me.
Oh, too low.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a level 26 and got one-shotted. My base got one-shotted by a level 41. I didn't think they could go down that low.
26?
I think that is the last level.
I think I can only go to 27.
Yeah, it couldn't have been a 26.
No, level 41 can have level 26.
Let me
It's
check the
level
PvP scale.
41 to 26, and so on and so forth.
All right, so 41 can hit down to 27.
27.
27 to 63 is the 41 range.
I'm a 41.
I am a 39.
I move up on more level and I lose. I move up on more level and I lose a level I can raise.
What's the highest that can hit a level 24?
Level 24? The highest I can hit at 24 is a 36.
Yeah, I was level 26 because it happened right before I leveled up to 27. I was 26 max.
It's impossible, I tell you. It's impossible. Maybe it was in territory capture because no level fans there.
No, I was out in independent space.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the game broke, or maybe he leveled up right afterwards. I don't know. But 41 is or 40 is the one that can hit 26. 41 knocks up to 27.
I'm looking for a base now. I am 41, so I'll be able to.
Rev, is it true that when you get to level 40, you don't get 3-star rewards in your events anymore?
They have changed that a little bit, so it's not as true as it used to be, but that did used to be a true statement.
Yeah, you get some, but you don't get. You get some, but you don't get like when you're at level 39. Level 39 is the sweet spot.
Y'all, look at my dilithium right now. Look at it. Look at my dilithium. I can't earn or lose any more dilithium.
It's a devil's number.
Full 49.
I can't lose or gain any more. I'm stuck here forever. Let's see.
I want your steel.
Yeah, well, me too. Why, as a level 35, am I getting a quest that takes me to dark space? You're getting a free mission that everybody gets that you can archive until you can use it. That's what you're getting. Natural Search says bases and territory don't count in that any level hitting. I don't know. Are we going to get a market? Maybe. No promises.
Maybe not.
It could happen. It could not happen. We don't know.
Originally, they offered a spot for the market, and now there's not.
There was a lot of things offered at one point. A lot of things have changed. I mean, there was a time where pro football players could do cocaine with no problem. And now it's frowned upon. So things change. Is the Kira
Only
worth
if they get
leveling and
caught.
scrapping? No, Kira is not worth leveling and scrapping. Kira is not worth building, which is sad for me to say because I love that little ship. Hey, this dude's shield's down. We get to wreck him. Drain him of his 20 million par steel. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, we're going to crack you with freaking an Intrepid? We're using it. Oh, he's shielded, you son of a biscuit eater. I was going to use an Intrepid on you. The Intrepid has got used in a coon's age.
There's a reason.
Yes, it is. But, I mean, it's fun to bring it out every now and then and pew-pew a little bit.
Somebody hit me with a Stella on my little game.
I've baited a few people that way, done that.
What was the Marcus Mitigation Crew again? Marcus Mitigation Crew? What you talking about, Eric? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? What is you talking about?
Section 31 crew.
What rank Nero is needed to make Augur good? Maxed. And still GG better. Maxed.
GG is awesome. GG is Bay.
GG is one lady that I would love to meet in person. For
GG is the one
She's
card
definitely a
that
hot for an older person.
yeah, cocktails, maybe some intelligent conversation. She's a little bit of an older woman, so I know that she's going to be somebody that I can actually have a dialogue with. We can discuss important events, and that's.
She is
Experience
not
them
old.
anyway.
She's a young lady.
All right, Craig. Everybody's a young lady compared to you. It's not saying much, man. It's like you got to realize that at 31, I have people like I'm old to some people out there, which makes me sad. But if I'm old and George O's old, oh, I mean,
I'm dirt.
you're a very lovable dirt. Like if I was Captain Jack Sparrow, you would be my jar of dirt. Like I would gladly celebrate. I got a jar of dirt, and you would be that jar of dirt. So
You're dirt. Then I guess I'm dirt as well, huh?
yeah, you're Joe Dirt. You're Arkansas with your sister Joe Dirt. Craig's a lovable jar of dirt. So
I'm dirt too.
Kenny,
I'm
you're
45.
Scottish. You're dirt in a kilt. Oh.
As long as he's not drinking, we can understand him.
Or Ferengi winning my poll. Did somebody go spam
Like,
Ferengi?
even
Because
Sunday
no, they're
Bourbon
not
was
winning.
drinking.
Wookiees are winning.
What is the best 2 crews for the SS Jellyfish? Tommy, what is your goal with the Jellyfish? Because if you're going to say PvP, I'm going to tell you, not what it's for. But I can give you some crews.
An ISS is not good for PvP until you get about tier 7.5.
Oh, Mike says this is Admiral Yankee from Red F Blue. Oh, well, shout out to you, Admiral Yankee. But if you didn't catch the red versus blue reference, that's a Halo thing. So you have to be a really nerdy gamer. And if you didn't catch it,
Bow wow.
yeah, if you didn't catch it, you're just not nerdy enough for the nerdy club. How about that? When or is there a good time to 10 mil rep lock and go work on your third faction? Literally whenever you want to, Robert. Anytime. Go for it. The only drawback to locking the third faction is if you lock the third, it takes away one of the areas for you to auto farm, and it leaves you auto farming in augment space, which kind of sucks because that's not very consistent. But
Right. I finally found a level 26 opponent, and I'm 41. And I can confirm that you cannot hit a level 26 or 41.
Cannot?
Hey Rev, you
That means
mentioned
you
showing
can't
off
roll
in the territory. Which territory is optimal?
Oh yeah. Real quick, somebody asked where I was in resources rated. I have 2.7 billion and I'm 142 on my server. So over here, you'll notice this nice little stretch of space up in the northeast corner that kind of makes like this little crab looking thing. So the territories are Tygan, Adia, Tezra, Krios, and Tholis. that little crab here, which includes 1 3-star if y'all can afford to run it. This little crab here will give you 2 Solax particles. I'll have to pull up the particle list because I can't ever name the daggum things. Let me pull up the particle list. So that one will give you 2. The one that starts with S will give you 1 quantum, 1 Metreon, and then 1 of the other. And the reason the reason I picked that is, let me go into my research tree and blah 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 blah. Come on, move on, Star Trek Fleet Man. Hurry the heck up. Hurry the heck up, you piece of junk.
Sorax particles are the best.
So if you go to your research tree and then you jump into the territory capture window, you will see that at the top you've got, did I go the right one? Yeah, I did. It is the middle one. I'm sorry. It's this one. The two little dots. Whatever the two little dots, the phantom particle.
Yeah.
That one. You get 2 phantoms, I think. And that lets you work on ship upgrades and then explore warfare, interceptor warfare, battleship warfare. I love these ship upgrades because it's going to save you on the crystal, gas, and ore. So that's why it's one of my favorites to go for. And I've got 500 particles of that. So also we need to back out and just see that my base got hit and 1 shot because my Enterprise was repairing. Shout out to Captain Anders Stevens. Hit me with a 26 million Tribune. So it wouldn't have mattered if my Enterprise was repaired or not.
He's got a Tribune already? Damn.
No, we have like 7 level 50s on my server. So
yeah.
We have a 46.
We've got several 49s, so we're a little bit behind.
Yeah, so no biggie. He cracked me in 1 shot, but I just made more in that raid than I lost by getting 1 shot by a lot, so I'm not worried about it. But I'm not going to let him shield down and come drain me. That's for sure. Let's see. Resources. Get a little bit more titanium from our swarms. Sorry, I'm going to go through my refinery and talk as I do it because that's what people do. Borg. Already did my Borg. I haven't done Latinum yet today. Discovery. Did that already. Territory.
Doing like I am. Only taking the titanium right now.
I mean, I take it.
Every finally gets a heap of abuse when I open it.
Oh, you mean in that one? Yeah, I only take the titanium. Sometimes I'll take the dilithium, but I never do the par steel one. So we're going to pop our shield back on, and then
what's the best way to do your territory refinery? I mean, yeah, it's if you've only got 1 territory, if you want to save up them all, yeah, you could do them all, but is it ideally best just to go for the ones that you need?
Definitely go for the ones that you need. I think that should be the focus.
Yeah.
Dezorgo says, are they thinking of adding any more territories so smaller alliances have a chance to get a spot? How do smaller alliances not have a chance, Dezorgo? I'm on one of the most active servers in the game, and I've got spots. Like, little alliances have spots all over our map. And then you have the 2 biggest ones fighting with each other all the daggum time. IA and Feds, and they're both well over 1 billion power.
Hey, Rev, question about synergy. If I upgrade my officers, does the synergy percentage go up, or does the percentage stay fixed?
Doesn't matter. It's fixed.
Oh.
Synergy is fixed on officers and by officer type.
And so it's not always great to have triple synergy. I mean, as long as you've got a dual synergy and then another officer to back up.
All right, so here is my server. So we have a top is 82 million, then a 77, a 77, a 74, a 73, a 71, a 66, 59, 58, 54. So we have 10 people, 54 million power or above. And that means that you're looking at, see, number 10. Holy crap, we have up to 10 now? We might have 10 level 50s now, people. Let me look. All right. Stark is still 49. Ender, I know, is 50. So, no, Ender's 49. My bad. Sulu, did he go up yet? Sulu went up. I don't think Behringer did. Behringer's 49. So it means we have 8 level 50s. 8 of them. We got an extra one now. We're up to 8.
I was gonna say 60 million is still level 49 on mine. So
You can, like, Dax is 50, but 54 million, but that's Dax has probably not done a lot. Did like a straight level shoot. But 3-2. Wait, where's 3 at? Yeah, 3's 47 because 3 hit me yesterday. Jason, I know, hasn't gone up to it, but Jason's at 46. Yeah. Stone, how close is Stone? Because he's a big whale. He's 47. Over 2 billion power destroyed. There you go. We're at 8 level 50s. So quite a few. Quite a few.
a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
They could all be free to play. You don't know.
Oh, yeah. They're all free to play. All of them.
I'm free to play.
I spend loads.
Spend lots of time.
See, Rev, there's your new whale. He spends more than I do.
Yeah, Dekix. Yep. Matthew says, on our server, the smaller alliances can't get territory without permission from the Big Ten. Without it, they come in and swarm us and give it to who they deem worthy. I mean, look, that's server politics and everything, and that can be how it is. Now, on server 20, it's really more of the big alliances are too busy fighting each other, so they don't care if the small folks get something here or there. And people like IA, Feds, this should be, Exco's down here. You got Epic right up here. All these big people are too busy killing each other, so they don't care if we're grabbing pieces willy nilly. So you've got 4 alliances that have 5, and then everybody else just has pieces. Actually, I'm sorry. Who's this up here? Tash. Tash has 5, 4 or 5. So yeah.
There's a very easy solution. Just move alliance to someone that's got what you want.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I was in Feds for a week, and then I loaded up on all 3 particles.
Our server is trying to make it where territory is considered token space.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Token space? How do you work that out?
Yeah, what does that mean?
You don't go into their territory and kill them at all, except for during a takeover, and only if you're trying to take that area over. Other than that, you're not allowed in there.
That doesn't work anywhere in our server.
And if anybody's caught doing that, they're going to do a server-wide KOS on them.
Like I said, individual politics are, all over the place. So
yeah.
Trash is, what's your opinion on the difference in rewards between the last TOS officer event and this one? So you're talking about the solo leaderboard. Now, just forewarning, I don't participate in the solo leaderboards. I completely ignore them. I like the fact that the top is basically 1 billion par steal. I like the Klingon Disruptor. I think that's gorgeous. I won't be finishing in the top 10 of this thing, so it doesn't matter. But I don't have a problem with it. But I also don't participate in them. I don't participate in them. Leaderboards are not something at level 39 that I can win.
No, they're very hard.
Except if you're on a new server.
I need a reward from a solo event that pays out in 1 billion steel so I can upgrade a gun on my jelly.
Trash is the last one had Epic Armada credits. I mean, it is great to get Epic Armada credits. I'll also, and this has been getting more to me the past couple of months, I've really started to fall in love with some of these avatars. Like, I legitimately love the Klingon phaser. There's no chance for me to get it, but I love it. I love the way it looks. I think it's a dope avatar. I won't get it. So maybe I can get the janitors or something to give me a free avatar because I reported some bugs, because I love that freaking avatar. My avatar room is actually kind of sparse. So
they really should give out avatars to those who are like actually actively trying to make the game better and give them ideas and give them heads up about things like that.
By the way, shout out once again to Anders. He's a cool 50. Not every 50 is cool. He's a cool 50. So Let's see. I still need to finish that Alliance event. How many? Oh gosh, I'm so far away. All right, I'm just gonna do it by donating to my Alliance. Screw it. What level do you start doing rare epic armadas? Those are two different things. But you can do them whenever. As far as when I cash them in, it really depends on you. Like level 28 is not a bad level. I mean, in the dream scenario, you save everything till level 38. But
yes.
But even then, that's not very realistic. So level 34 is a good level. Level 38 is a good level. 28 is a good level. Just kind of do it in stages.
Been doing mine at 33.
How much longer till the daily reset? What, like 10 minutes?
9, yeah.
9 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
9.
8.5.
Oh, I can't.
All right, please tell me I finished it. Yay! I just got some trite. 12.7 million. Just for donating
I'm
to the
jealous.
Alliance. For picking up
I'm
12
jealous.
million Trit.
Yeah, I need $1 billion for one gun.
So I just got the Doomsday Creature Part 2, and I got 250 million par still for that. So woohoo! Now I'm over 2 billion. Yay! I just got $1 billion. Nadal, have fun blowing stuff up. Matthew says I use the TOS Ahura avatar. Huge fan of Nichelle Nichols. Also agree. So right now I'm using the Borgified. That's not Gonzalez. What's her name? I don't remember. I'll be honest. The reason I'm using her is because she's super hot. I won't lie. Normally I have some great valiant reason I'm using this current avatar setup because I think she's gorgeous. But I've been using Nichelle Nichols. I think she looks great if you use there's 2 frames I think she looks good in. I use the red frame. I think it grows great. I also don't mind the Valentine's Day frame, but my favorite one is putting the TOS original series frame with Nichelle Nichols. I think it looks so good. It's classic, nice little retro look. Great little combo.
And with that, gentlemen, I'm going to have to say peace out.
Yeah, it's peace out for me too, because it's now a 3-hour stream, which I think is the longest one I've ever done on YouTube. It's because everybody hung out and they wanted to talk and they wanted to chit chat. So the only thing that I ask is if you've hung out and chit chat and you've gotten a laugh, if you've laughed at me because I'm a ginger, which is completely okay, or you've been bored to death but you've stayed, I do ask that you donate to the PayPal channel just so that I can feed my kids in the morning. It snowed here. And fun fact, here's a sob story that comes with every time we ask for a donation. Weird problem happened. We had to get the water turned off today because the floors were literally seeping water up from them. I don't know. It's my life. But in the kitchen and in the bedroom, water literally coming up from the floor. No clue.
You live in a swamp.
Yeah, well, that probably means my foundation's got a massive crack in it. Water's coming through it, which now costs several $1,000s. So if y'all want to help with whatever the heck's been going on, you don't have to, but if you do want to, greatly appreciate it. You're all awesome. The voice chat will still be up. If you want to come join up in the voice chat, please come do that. Join the Discord. If you haven't already, don't be a stranger. Come hang out with us. Live long and prosper. Stay safe. Don't get raided by sexy gingers, and we'll see you on the next one. I should probably end the stream now.
Probably.
Yeah. End button.